Yeah, okay.
Almost.
Yeah.
We're live.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:35. Thanks, Dennis and Jessica for joining us as well. We're gonna go ahead and review our meeting minutes and then we'll go to our first appointment here with Charlie. All right, do you guys have a chance to review the minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have anything.
I didn't find any corrections in this.
You got 0.
All right, looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for October 8th, 2025.
Sure.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
None.
All right, we'll go ahead and welcome Charlie Smith, give us an update on
Charlie Smith.
Southwest Conservation, Southwest Water Conservation District here.
Really cut out a lot of time for me, so I don't know. Start talking. It's been a while since I've updated you on stuff, so that'd be a good time to get in here.
Sure.
A few times you've had too much on your agenda, right?
Look, I'm gonna ask you just a dumb overall question. How about that rain?
That was a lot.
I mean, for
That-
water and
That
the Animus
changed
and all the and the San Juan and everything else, I mean, that had to have been.
Between Lemon and Vallecito, they gained 80,000 acre feet of water. They caught all of that, all that, I mean, it's too bad about the flooding at Vallecito.
Right.
Feel bad for those folks,
And because
but everyone downstream was. There's good water, I mean, they were going into this with really low reservoir
Yeah, it didn't
levels.
look so good.
Yeah, they had to cut off irrigation to a lot of people and everything, and yeah. It didn't, there wasn't quite as much. West, like McPhee, they can get a whole lot of gain out of it.
Okay,
really?
That's interesting.
How
Yeah,
did Navajo do?
well, that all got trapped up there and,
Oh, it stayed?
well, I guess the San Juan water gets down there.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, I didn't get the volume number on that one.
Yeah, I didn't see the volume number, but I saw the feet number go up. I think they had is it 10 or 12 feet.
Even
that
like
much.
the changed a little bit, maybe, I
Yeah.
know.
That water is out of state, I don't pay as much attention to it.
Yeah, anyway, sorry to
That's
digress, please continue.
I guess since last time, I'm now the president of the Southwestern Water Conservation.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
And that's kind of ironic because we don't have any irrigation or anything up here. And, a big part of the district is to develop water for irrigation projects and municipal projects and all that. But the fact that, and probably the first time that it's someone who hasn't been,
Isn't a ranch or
Yeah,
something like that.
so, anyway, it's not a whole lot more work, so I don't mind.
Oh, good.
And have to take on a few extra things. So, and I guess with that said, talking about irrigators, that the district's formed and it was formed to protect, conserve, use, and develop the water resources of the Southwest Basin and safeguard waters of Colorado and for the entire state. And so a lot of the mandate was to develop these development projects, and there's not a lot of water around to develop nowadays. And I think in the time I've been on the board of the district there, I've been trying to direct things towards water quality issues because that's what's most important to us up here.
Sure.
And it's not dependent on building a dam or doing things to big projects or anything. Well, I guess we do have a really big project, but not,
Up there.
not diversion projects and things like that. So that's been my thing is water quality and driving that way. In terms of things we've been watching and doing, they've implemented new measurement rules for the District 7. They had already done it in District 6, I think, is Yampa. And it's going to require measurement devices on basically every diversion that there is out there.
Really?
New high-tech weirs or?
Just weirs with a recording device.
Okay.
Because they want to, especially with all this Colorado River stuff going on, they want to be able to track all the water and everything. I talked to Jeff Titus, the water commissioner, about how that would affect San Juan County, because I know they don't measure the water into the treatment plants at the diversion, they measure it at the treatment plant. And he didn't have a problem with that. He said the only place there might be an issue is at the diversion to Mullis Lake. He said he hadn't looked at that weir in a long time, and he probably thought it would need to be upgraded. So there's gonna be.
Pretty old.
Yeah, there's gonna be state funds available, starting the 1st of January for these upgrades. And they've only set aside $1.5 million for our entire district, which is to cover the 20,000. I don't know what the number is, some
So it's
outrageous.
it's an unfunded state mandate again.
Well, they're $1.5 million, so if you
Yeah,
getting on it early is important.
Sure,
Um,
but still,
we won't be impacted like most of the state. The other thing, and also the Colorado River District, they haven't had their rules set yet, so they don't even know what their rules are gonna be, so they're not gonna maybe have as much time to get it. The total amount is $7 million they said for the state. They may not have as much opportunity to get at those funds, and they have a lot more diversions also. Let's see. The other thing legislatively is there's this new regulation 87 on dredge and fill. And so when the Supreme Court made a decision, Sackett it was binding, and it kind of changed how you could define a water of the United States, especially a wetlands area, wetlands and intermittent streams.
yeah,
And so basically the state is coming up with their own regulations for dredge and fill as opposed to the what was it, Section 404 Clean Water Act stuff. So they're doing the rulemaking now, and that'll probably they've been doing it for close to a year. They announced it in January, but they've been having stakeholder meetings, and we've hired Peter Butler to represent us.
that's great.
And he was the head of water quality. He was the president of the Water Quality Control Division at one time, so he knows this as well as anyone else. So it's having him on our side is great. So he read through all these things and how they affect our district as opposed to other districts, and has put in a lot of input, and had to make changes, and a lot of it has to do affecting us, our like how they have different service areas, and they made the way the state divided them up in these service areas doesn't really work for a system like ours. And like for instance, the
Service
lower,
area meaning drainages?
yeah, but like the lower animus compared to the upper animus, and so
Entirely different.
yeah. And so they've been talking about let me see, about the mitigation, like if you disturb a wetland, what kind of mitigation you're gonna have to do and compensation for that. And there's these wetland banks. I think we talked about them once before, because like if we were to do something, say at Howardsville, maybe that could be made into a wetlands bank where people pay you then to
work on the wetlands.
yeah, just say, okay,
Yeah.
this amount of wetlands was preserved, we're gonna go develop over here. The biggest thing that prevents us from really benefiting from that is they have like elevation cutoffs. And I forgot the number, if it was like 8 or 9,000 feet. So there is a wetland bank in the Animas Valley now. So if someone up here wanted to disturb a wetland, they wouldn't be able to buy credits from down in the Animas Valley.
We were just talking about that.
They
with
would
Cascade.
not be able to, or would?
They would not be able to.
'Cause we were just talking about
What
that
about-
with Cascade Village.
Yeah, Cascade Village.
That might be at that 9,000
Cutoff.
feet, but I'm not positive. But I'll check into that
We
actually.
were thrilled that they wanted the Cascades monies to go to Animas. We'd rather see it going up to Howardsville if we could, because it is San Juan County.
Yeah.
Why should money generated in San Juan County go to La Plata County?
Right.
It should stay in.
What is the elevation, what is the model behind that?
I don't know
Okay.
how they,
Not- okay.
that's an
It
old
just seems,
That's not part of this process. That was a much older rule.
Okay.
When they came up with this whole concept of the wetland bank. But we don't have anything at Howardsville yet, right?
No,
So we'd have to,
you gotta do the cleanup first.
Yeah, and
Then
then-
put in your wetland, so.
but yeah, so it's something, the rules still aren't finalized, but they're getting closer and closer to come up with the final rules, and I can hopefully give you an update on what that will be.
And that rule is a state rule or a
Yes,
federal?
it's the state rule that's gonna be in place of what had been the federal section 404 rules.
Okay.
So when
Is it gonna be a better rule, hopefully, than the?
it'll probably be a lot alike, but Colorado's different, so maybe it will be better in some ways for the state, for people in the state. The big deal is though permits are gonna be really expensive, is what the word is.
Permits to destroy wetlands?
Yeah, the
Okay.
whole permitting process for
Huh.
that, section 87 dredge and fill stuff. Existing ditches and things like that aren't affected. But I'm gonna ask about Cascade Village elevation, because that was an issue, and it was pretty high, but Cascade they're below 9,000 feet, right? They must be.
They
Yeah.
had folks
Barely.
working for them and they had targeted kind of using that Animas Valley wetlands, so.
Yeah,
Which was.
I would assume that they've kind of, at least done their initial homework and.
how many units are they putting in there? But you can see them now.
70 is what they want.
72, 70.
Up to 70.
That's the ones they're building now, kind of behind
Oh,
it.
no, this is-
Oh, that was the new ones.
Right on the edge of the present wetlands.
Yeah.
The nice looking wetlands, they wanna put them into the hillside, but with that wetlands in front.
At the south end of.
Yeah, into the.
They wanna put in a new road bordering those ones in the front, and then they wanna put some townhomes on basically the other side. And
Yeah.
disturb some wetlands, like right along that road frontage.
Yeah. Huh. Cause I didn't even, those ones that are being built, those were going up.
Those have actually been approved about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 of them, are being they finally got to the line.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even have noticed, but the giant cement lift deal was there today and.
Artwork, probably,
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you really can't. see
No.
back.
yeah,
And that development that they're going through the process for approval, the big reason they have to come through approval is originally they were approved for 150 units.
yeah.
170.
In the wetland, probably
170.
the whole street grid in the wetlands and all.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this-
Yeah.
This is not the deal.
Yeah.
Basically.
So they have to come back through the process because they want to build less units.
Okay.
So they're at sketch plan right now, so they still have preliminary and final, so it's,
Well,
there's a ways to go for them.
I'm sure you guys will have fun with that.
Yeah.
We have our preliminary 2026 budget. We included funding for the CAG again. I'm sure Center for Snow and Avalanche Studies always comes to us and gets a grant each year. And we've upped our grant program to $350,000 a year, just because the federal money is gone, basically. So we think there might be a bigger demand. And most of that is for infrastructure stuff like head gates and
Replacing old pipe.
yeah, that kind of thing. I did notice the roundtable, our meetings tomorrow, and the Center for Snow and Avalanche Studies is coming to there. I'm asking for, I think, $30,000, and that's like operating money. So kind of, they've never, to my knowledge, I don't know if they've come to the roundtable. Southwest has given them a grant each year, but yeah, I'm sure I'll vote yes.
Sure.
Keep the money up there.
Is that grant money's also able to be used for water quality improvement projects? Or is it?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that we have whole grant guidelines, so there's things like water quality improvement, education and outreach stuff, so like,
Yeah.
like things at Fort Lewis, their Fort Lewis Water Center, usually comes and asks for some money. And we might make them a line item each year, Fort Lewis Water Center, because they've lost a lot of federal funding also. And they come back each year, and we have guidelines that, you can only take a certain amount of money over a 5-year period. So some of these people keep coming back, and then they come back again, and it's like, oh, you maxed yourself out, so. We keep them going, and that was the same with animus stakeholders. That became a line item
Hmm.
in the budget, and the CAG kind of basically just took that over. And there might be a need for more money for the CAG because I don't think they're going to be getting as much from or anything from Trauma Unlimited, which had been providing a lot initially.
Why?
Why is that?
I'm not too sure.
Hmm.
I know Ty is thinking about is planning on moving away.
We just got a.
Is he?
We just got an email this morning from him
Oh,
saying that he was moving on.
oh, he sold his house then.
Yeah, he told me, I don't, well, I think just on that note is that he is, most likely gonna stay with the CAG. If the CAG can recognize rules or change the rules to allow him to do so for the institution memory. Said that he probably could get some monies in,
Okay.
but just depending on what his role would be, and he wants to stay with it. But I think we need to consider that he may not come in, but he wants to stay here and wants to be a part of this watershed and, holds the San Juan County and the commissioners in really high regard and would like to continue to work with the EPMD activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
But he's moving out of the
was
area,
moving the house.
Yeah,
Mexico,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess the
When
CAG,
when you can leave where he is, I think, where is he out there on the road, kind of going towards Vallecito, I think, he said that he can get the same place for half as much there.
any one of the
That's
change.
a fly fishing, that's a fly fishing,
Well, yeah,
ski town.
yeah.
It's half as much as,
Where's he going to?
Taos.
Taos.
And last time I checked, Taos isn't cheap.
I thought it was expensive, but
yeah.
I think he's
It
looking
depends,
in
it
town.
depends in the,
I think he was.
Yeah,
looking
it's
in-
all relevant.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so as the CAG, we can always create a seat doesn't have to be in the watershed. That's in our bylaws. We can adjust our bylaws.
The Rio Grande flows down and that gets diverted over, well. It gets
Aqua goes to
diverted
the-
and goes into the, anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
if you really want to get, I think that's what we were talking about last night.
I missed last night. Our dog is dying.
Sorry.
Sorry.
She's supposed to get put down Friday and we said no. I was like, I can't do it. I need another week. at
yeah,
least." So,
okay.
so we're gonna, that's,
It's like a kid.
yeah, even if she can barely walk and can't see. Um, our infrastructure partnership, we've kept the group together and had, I think we're gonna have one more meeting, just keep the group going, and that's the group that got the $25 million grant that basically the government's been no contact on that grant. And so we're hoping that that money can show up somehow, all the, Colorado representatives and senators signed on that letter to support providing that money, but basically I don't know where they get mailed to some mailbox and it just drops there and no one ever looks at that stuff nowadays. It's kind of a bummer. And Scott, you had asked when at that BPMD meeting about that Shoshone water, who was paying that $100 million. 40 million of that was from that same B2E funding out of that. So the River District thinks they can come up with that somehow. We had the WECO tour a few months ago, and I don't know that anyone here was contacted about it.
What is we call?
Water Education Colorado, and they try to take elected officials to a different place each year. And Anthony was at the lunch, right? But anyway, I decided to go on it because I've never been on one, and it's in our district and I didn't have to travel. And it was pretty productive. I sat with Senator Simpson, State Senator Simpson. And I didn't know he was a mining engineer, so he understand he's Summitville, he's from the Rio Grande Basin is where he has his ranch and all. So he was sympathetic ear, when I talked about the funding we're gonna need and the treatment plant, because they have a
Right.
treatment plant up there at Somerville and everything, so it's great sitting and talking with him. Representative Suckla was on the bus, talked with him, he's a little crazy dude. It's kind
Larry Don.
of, yeah, there's a senator from Delta whose name I forgot, and I talked with him about it. And, anyway, I just try to get anyone's ear I can about
Sure.
spending how our need here and what our priorities are. And the same goes, I went to the Colorado Water Congress in Steamboat. Our manager, Steve Wolf, had some health issues and couldn't go, so I took his place to represent the district. And there was a presentation there by Governor Polis, and then Hickenlooper and Bennett sat together and did a presentation, and you can't really ever get those guys one-on-one. I tried,
Pretty hard.
yeah,
Pretty
I
hard.
tried, but again, I just,
Bennett easier than Hickenlooper.
yeah, yeah. In fact, I went to the when he was supposed to be up here and they got diverted because of the
It was
car
that
accident.
Yep.
I went to the one down in Durango,
Oh, you did.
and specifically, they pulled my name out of the hat for asking questions, and I asked about the B2E funding and about sustained funding for the EPA for the project up here. And so it's there. I talked to him afterwards, I forgot which, there's a woman representative, I have her card. I
Lisa
spoke to her.
Poole?
No,
Hickenlooper
Lisa's
said.
Hickenlooper.
Yep.
But I spoke to them, to her for quite a while,
Was
and
it Hillary from Bennett's office or?
it might have been Hillary. She's from the Denver office, from Bennett's office.
Hillary's Western Slope.
I did talk to Lisa Poole when we did the EPA tour last month. We had you guys were all busy with the NRD stuff. And I spoke with her quite a while. And then also Amy Huff, she's our representative from La Plata County. She's now Hickenlooper's regional representative. And she was unable to make that EPA tour. She was scheduled to be on it. So I volunteered to take her on a brief, take her up to Gladstone, maybe up to Howardsville and talk. And if you want, I'll drag her in here if you want to meet her.
Sure, I mean, it's always good to be any
Yeah.
aids.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out how and when to get her up here. She can't drive. I don't know if you read about that. Hickenlooper was going from Dove Creek to somewhere and was in an accident. She was the one driving. She had a seizure and they wrecked.
No way.
So he didn't make it to the meeting in Durango that he was headed to. And
He made it to Uray, but he didn't stop in Silverton.
yeah.
That was.
Well, now we know why.
No,
There was
No,
a-
no,
Oh,
he-
different
He just
circumstances, okay.
bypassed us. That-
Well, he made it all the way to, I think, to Durango probably, and then from Durango going to
Right.
Duck Creek, they're going from Duck
They were
Creek to
coming
somewhere
back,
else.
maybe they were coming back from Dove
Must be
Creek.
coming back, because they drove from there to Uray, but,
But they drove Uray to Durango because they stopped up on
oh, but they
pass
could,
for
but
the
they
photo
could,
op for.
they could have stopped in Silverton.
So anyway, so I'll get her up here and I'll try and go to at least see Willie and any of you are
Oh,
around.
it's-
Anthony, maybe you want to accompany? You have time?
Let's talk about it.
Sure, okay. And of course, the Colorado River stuff, the negotiations are pretty much still going nowhere between the upper basin and lower basin. There's
That would be so complex, it
There
would
is-
just be unbelievable.
yeah, and we've been banking money for lawsuits for protecting our water rights,
Wow.
because places like McPhee are junior water rights, so good.
Yeah, they
Basically-
built that was the last one built,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And there's some question that the Bureau of Reclamation does have the authority to basically take as much water as they want out of Navajo, Blue Mesa, and Flaming Gorge. But other Bureau of Reclamation projects like Lake Nighthorse and McPhee and all, they're now trying to hedge that, oh, maybe they can steal water from there to meet for compact reasons. And so that'll be a lawsuit if they decide to go that way.
Water lawyer heaven.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see, that's coming up pretty soon when the deadline to have this, they want a solution between the upper and lower basins, so that they don't have to make it themselves.
You come across like a decent article on some of the Colorado River pack stuff.
Oh,
Could you
sure.
send that to us? Just,
Sure.
it's just interesting to me, so.
If you get on the email list for Colorado Sun,
They do have some good articles.
they have a designated water journalist who writes all about water, and her articles are great. She's
Okay.
yeah,
I like reading their articles.
and it's free.
It is. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Amy didn't know that either. She paid. So, but I just read them for free. They ask for money. And that's pretty much what I have for you guys.
I had a question, if I could chime in.
Can't hear you very well,
Sure,
Dennis.
Dennis, you're a little quiet, but yeah,
I'll try to talk loud. How's that?
a little better.
Okay, I will do my best. So, hi Charlie, thanks for
Hi.
here. And I'm just looking back at the calendar. And first of all, is Beth still our water attorney?
She is.
Okay, so it looks like we do have a due diligence filing coming up in 2026. I guess I should expect her to get a hold of me on that.
Is that, we're already in due diligence?
Well, it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like our conditional rights were last filed on in 2020, which would, I think, 6 years bring it up. But I could be wrong on that, but I think that's typically what the conditional water rights is.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk to Beth about it, and thanks for bringing that up, because I need to talk about that 05 CW 88 water right with you guys, because we need to do it at least twice a year, and so I'm talking to you about it right now.
I do feel like we have a better case because we've been using our water rights a lot more with using the water truck to water the roads and stuff. We're definitely,
Right.
I feel like we're
It's
using our
true.
water rights more, so
Yeah.
gives us a better case.
And Kirsten gave Willie the gallons they pumped, right, and you're gonna get the EPA gallons.
Yep.
Is that the town taking it over there at the Lackawanna Bridge?
No,
That's EPA.
It's EPA?
Going to EPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
EPA and, yeah.
Yeah, that looks a lot like the bridge over here in town, just for record keeping's sake. And when we did the EPA tour, I rode with Joy Jenkins on one of the days, and we talked about Howardsville and how whatever they decide to do, there's gonna be some remediation work that's gonna take place.
Has to be.
And I said, you know, what we want is a pump at the Howardsville Bridge for pumping water for remediation purposes as part of any project. And I think she's on board with that. So that's another thing we can use as diligence, that we're talking about using that water for those remediation projects.
Are we looking at maybe making some conditional rights absolute, or is that a possibility, or?
Based on however much the EPA gives Willie in gallons pumped, right? If we can, I mean, it's such a tiny fraction, but it's something, right?
And then the other question I had was simply, I end up looking at the monthly water resume for one of my other clients, and I do notice periodically that some filings in, for example, this month there's a filing by the town of Overton on some conditional water rights and things like that. Is Beth watching those for objector status cases that we might want to jump in on, or?
She does watch the resume brings us a update each meeting and lets us know if there's anything that she has concerns about.
Great, that's all I had. And
Okay.
if she has,
And
go ahead.
and just one thing, in going forward in the future, and I mentioned this in my email to you about those Animas service area water rights. They're a lot like the 05 CW88, but you can use them anywhere in the Animas drainage. So they've been getting used. I mean, they're all still real small increments also, but they're getting used. And the drawback on the San Juan County water rights is that there are these specific points of diversion is where the water right is. And sometime in the future, we may want to talk about trying to get a change in point of diversion. The drawback is when you
Could be
do.
anywhere instead of just one point.
Yeah, the drawback is when you do that, you basically open up the whole case to scrutiny from objectors from the outside, so there's some risk involved. I mean, now is not the time to do it, but if someone or something object, need the water, we might look at it. Yikes, that owl's in there. Something's going wrong.
I think that's probably ours. Somehow feedback.
Okay, well. Any questions? Anything I can do?
Nope.
No?
Thank you, Charlie.
Just, I was going back to that draft or the permit, you're talking.
Dredge and
about-
fill?
Yeah, the dredge and fill. I've been thinking as that gets closer, even after, I think it might be good to have Peter and you both here. I mean, you can think that just to
Okay.
talk about it.
About what it is?
Well, how it's really gonna impact, I think it'd be good for us to know. on
Okay.
the side.
And it shouldn't be a lot different than it was with when the Army Corps was basically watching over everyone's shoulder, and that's where you went and got the permit through.
Yeah,
Now it's just gonna be through the state.
sure, but I think the process, when I was talking to Peter, is that this could be a lot more expensive, and it'd
Yeah.
be nice to know what's gonna be a lot more expensive before.
Yeah.
Particularly, are they in the notice and comment period already now?
Yeah.
Okay. May not matter, it may just be information purposes.
And maybe, or they're about to be in the notice and comment.
I'll talk to Peter.
I have an October date in my notes that I looked at before I came over, but I thought it said we were getting it. Where they're gonna.
It'd just be nice to know what activities are gonna put, like where the line will be, what type of activities, so the.
Okay.
And if, how the ones have to road through,
It shouldn't, existing stuff, it should not,
okay,
it's when you're going to disturb. Something. It's just like the Army Corps
Yeah.
in that way. So. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Have a good one.
Then I was gonna sit and listen to Jeff's.
Sure. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our next appointment here with Jessica Dugan and folks from the EPA who've joined us. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming to give us a project update and this wonderful presentation for Mayflower Tailings Area future uses.
Thanks. Can you hear me all right?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Dugan, and I'm one of the EPA remedial project managers. Joy is here as well, and I wanted to first start off with introductions. So we have here SKIO contractors that have been helping us, and I'll pass it to Lisa to just introduce your team.
Great. Good evening. So Elisa with SKIO, or EPA's contractor under the Superfund redevelopment program, and I have my colleagues Matt Roby and Bianca Boggs as well. So
Awesome. And so we have a presentation for you all about the reuse at OU2. And so the purpose kind of this, I know it seems like it's a little premature of future use, but it's basically to give you kind of information about what we've gathered on reuse and the concept of how future use and reuse now in the process of, we're currently in the remedial investigation phase. And doing that discussion with you all now is helpful for us to inform the cleanup and decisions in the future. And so This slide gives a lot of text about the Superfund redevelopment program. It's a contractor through headquarters. So EPA on the Bonita Peak team has not had to pay for this at all. This is funded through headquarters. And so we're able to tap into the resources from SKIO and their background. And so they provide a lot of planning, technical assistance to communities and stakeholders. And at Bonita Peak, we've been using it, using this contract and this support to basically help San Juan County consider future use options. So at the properties that you recently purchased, the Mayflower Mill tailings. And in June of this past year, we held a workshop with some stakeholders, San Juan County reps, EPA, state, San Miguel Power, to kind of flesh out some initial brainstorming ideas and options. And so the presentation, we're going to talk about a little background, some of the land use considerations for this area, the future use ideas that have come up. And if you have more or other ideas, we're welcome to grab those as well. And then some of the next steps that we're planning to do. So to orient us all here, I know Bonita Peak is a large Superfund site with 48 sources and the 3 different drainages. So OU2 itself is besides the 5 operable units within the whole Bonita Peak, but we're focusing just on operable unit 2, which is the Mayflower Mill tailings study area. And that yellow kind of boundary is not a boundary, it's a study area, just to give kind of an orientation. So it has the Mayflower Mills tailings impoundments 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you all are aware, Tailings Pond 4 has the Bonita Peak repository on it. Let's see. So for our remedial status, so this is kind of the decisions that have already been made within the Bonita Peak site itself. In 2021, there was an interim record of decision that identified the repository to basically collect and store waste from different source areas as well as the Gladstone water treatment sludge. So TP4 is currently accepting sludge from Gladstone. And TPs 1 and 2 are identified as future repositories. So if and when TP4 reaches capacity, then TPs 1 and 2 would be used. In the meantime, this is kind of why we're talking about reuse. Between that time period, if there's ways to reuse that property, we want to make sure that we can do that. So like I said, we're currently in the remedial investigation as well as kind of a feasibility study to select the surface remedy, basically as like a surface control remedy. We divided between the surface and the groundwater so that we could move this faster and get a remediation plan in place quicker for this source. And just a reminder that EPA does not control local land use, but understanding those local land uses is really important in the cleanup process and kind of helps us inform all future cleanup processes. And I'll pass it over to our experts on reuse.
Thanks, Jess. So as Jess mentioned, you have a copy of this presentation, and it includes a lot of sort of detail. And so I don't think that we'll need to go through every slide tonight. We just wanted to make sure that you had that sort of additional background for reference as questions come up about this part of the site. And there is the ownership. And so in this sort of focus, as Jess mentioned, we're really focused on the properties that the county owns that are highlighted here in orange. But obviously there's a mix of private land as well as the historical society between the 2 areas that the county owns. And then obviously within a larger context of land that is managed by the BLM. And also in your packet, you'll see there's additional maps that also outline some additional features, sort of key considerations that we think about when considering future use, like access, roads, surrounding land use. Those can all be very important considerations for thinking about the future use, as well as the fact that there's these tailing ponds. And so um, this slide here really starts to break that down into areas in terms of like how to think about future use of this area. So you'll see that the tailing ponds 4, we've hatched out, as Jess mentioned, that will be that active repository where future use is not available. But then when you start to think about the tailing ponds 1, 2, and 3, there are some considerations there that can help make sure that future use is compatible with those conditions. And so a couple of those things to think about is that TPs 1, 2, and 3 could be available for temporary uses, such as trails, right now in the immediate future, while EPA considers cleanup options for the area. But then if you start to think about maybe in the next 5 years, there's other interim uses that may be available while EPA continues the work there to look at the surface remedy options. And so those uses would need to be compatible with the surface remedy, but there are some things that are probably feasible that could happen in that sort of now to the next 5 years while that remedy is being determined. And then as Jess mentioned, there is the possibility that TPs 1 and 2 may be needed further down the road for additional impoundment if TP4 gets full. So can kind of start to think about future use in terms of phasing and the types of uses that are available. All of this is detailed on the next following slides, but I like to look at maps when I'm thinking about these kind of things. So I'm going to leave this up, but the things that I'm talking through are on the following slides in your packet. A couple of other things that are key considerations to think about for future use is the stability of the tailing ponds when you're thinking about different future uses. And that is something that is likely, depending on the type of use, is going to need to be evaluated, determined, basically determine the suitability of those different development types and for the different development and structures and the load bearing capacity of that potential development on the TPs. So that's another consideration in addition to sort of the flat areas that are available on top, and then the sloped areas that are surrounding that sort of flat area that's available. Also, when you're thinking about development, while it's likely that overhead electricity, that's probably feasible, underground utilities such as like water or septic, something that would have to be buried into the TPs, that may not be possible. And so that's another consideration when thinking about development. That's not to say it can't happen. You can look at alternatives like above ground vault septic or water cisterns, but actually putting utilities through the tailing ponds themselves might be a limiting factor. I think it's also important to also consider that based on current available information, EPA's cleanup approach is not considering a residential exposure scenario. In addition to that, EPA hasn't conducted a geotechnical analysis of the stability of the TPs to support traditional residential development that would include like subsurface foundations and then back to that point about utilities. So based on the information now, really looking at uses that could sort of sit on top of the TPs with additional considerations if they're super heavy uses that would require some additional work to make sure that that is feasible.
You guys had to study the geotechnical stability of TP4 though. I mean, didn't you guys, at least you better have, I guess, Did you
Yes.
guys study the stability? Cause you're putting several 100,000 million tons of sludge on top of that, and I certainly want that to be stable. So.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And as well as they have inclinometers on the repository to determine if there's any sort of movement.
Oh, huh. Yeah, you don't want to see movement at the bottom there.
But just that same level of work has not been done for TPs 1, 2, and 3, which is why we're bringing that up now.
Sure.
No, yeah, Sunnyside
Okay.
Gold did some evaluations, but those were back in the 80s or 90s. And I'm not sure based on how it's changed over the time if that
But
looking
did,
at those
but EPA did on tailings pond number 4s though, right?
4, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Great. So before we talk about future use, we really like to manage expectations and be realistic. So that's why we wanted to start with these key considerations. So then we can start to look at the range of uses that could be compatible. So I'm going to advance through the next couple of slides because I talked through most of these points. But if you have questions, please just let us know. So here are a range of future use ideas that, as Jess mentioned, we gathered during some initial conversations that we've grouped into categories. So development, starting off first from parking to staging area to RV area for seasonal workforce housing. So this would be like a temporary housing from spring to early fall. This is like an approach that wouldn't require like underground utilities because it's mainly like a RV or camper approach. There was also the idea of additional drinking water, the treatment expansion or storage, shooting range, a county shop building that would maybe be like more about like a lighter weight structure or something that wouldn't necessarily require utilities. Amusement park, ropes course was an idea, vertical greenhouse, as well as remilling the tailings were some of the development ideas that came up. Recreation, expanded trail system, which would also include winter access, outdoor gathering area for concerts, wildlife habitat, so looking at opportunities to revegetate the side slopes and also in areas that aren't sort of being considered for development, looking at expanding elk habitat through this area, as well as renewable energy and looking at solar on top of the TPs, and wind energy was also mentioned. So I guess before moving forward, I wanted to hear if there anything else. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to go back to the RV area.
Uh-huh.
We just talked about any kind of RV, you still need some kind of a septic or a vault.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and we're talking about tailings. So that seems a little problematic. Then I really want to talk about what's the idea of the milling of the tailings and where would you conduct that at?
So we were informed that that was something that was proposed to San Juan County. So that's why it ended
By
up
a private party. Okay.
Yes.
by a private party. So we,
Understood. Okay, I got it now.
Just threw it out to see what.
Okay.
if
You
it
have
was
to make
feasible.
consideration of all.
Got it. I got that. I was a little slow on that.
Even if it's not realistic.
Got it.
Scott, can I just ask about the geotechnical on 1 and 2? I thought when the decisions were being made about where to put the repository and all that, that may have been a consideration.
Particularly because originally number 1 was what was chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go back and double check the geophysicals on all the TPs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you, Joy. It'd be nice to know now, like what those look like.
Right, and Jess and I have inquired about that a bit. I think, I think some of those initial decisions were made more with the Sunnyside Gold's information, and they actually suggested that one of the comments during the proposed plan process before we did the record of decision was that, TB4 was more stable. And then for the design effort, we went and did more detailed work on, understanding the geotech stability for TP4 for part of the design. So I think that's why we have more information about TP4. And so there was that kind of initial feasibility of, or selection of, I think they were originally trying to use tailings impoundment 1, but there hadn't been the very detailed, there's been more detailed work done, I guess, is what I'm saying for TP4. So, and Sunnyside thought that TP4 was far more stable than the others.
And already had the storage capacity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think too, it's bigger.
Is there any way you guys could start on the wildlife habitat one, like next year? It'd be so simple to revegetate, and you gotta have water, you gotta be watering that stuff, but that seems like something you guys could do right away.
Sorry. So we don't want to revegetate if we're going to potentially do an improved cap system and then basically waste money to re-veg it again. Or
Well, I'm talking about the side slopes.
Yeah, I don't have a decision document to implement that type of work yet, though.
That's something we could easily, I think, start right away.
Well, so I think, Scott, what my understanding is that we have to go through this process, make a decision before they can go ahead and do that.
I got you.
That's why
We're going through the process. We have to
Oh.
go through the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is as right away as it gets, Scott.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just on that same kind of note or vein, that area, especially on Taylor and Spawn 4, which is, obviously the hardest to re-veg and to work with, was identified as a winter range for the resident year-round elk herd.
Yep.
That's here. So just the loss of habitat there is going to be stressful for the elk in the long term, and they do utilize that area quite a bit in the winter time down low there. So just as thought on there that revegetation project is a priority, I think, to try and cover for some of that loss of habitat.
So it kind of sounds like you guys are interested in re-vegging. Would that be like on TPs 1, 2, and 3?
Not on the tops, but the sides, maybe, because the revegetation on the sides was done pretty poorly. That's just my opinion, but I don't think the stuff at the angle was done very well at all. And it seems like that's something we could really focus on, is really improving all those side slopes. It's gonna help your stability too, to not only have vegetation, but have willows and trees and everything. There's nothing growing on that stuff. It's like a bald man's head almost. I mean, there's some, but not. You go over to the Adorado tailings ponds, and there's all kinds of stuff growing on them because they watered it. This wasn't watered, so it's whatever. They threw some seed down and just hope for the best. But I'd like to see a more concerted effort to do reclamation on the side slopes.
I think it's important, like what we're talking about too, what was lost is if you go on 4, where everything is gone, that was heavily vegetated and heavily used by the elk herd.
Yeah.
That was the one that was most vegetated.
Great. This is super helpful information to hear at this point, as EPA is going into like their evaluating cleanup alternatives, to know that, revegetating the side slopes, the elk habitat, like this is all very helpful and exactly the type of information that we're hoping to hear.
A lot of times that's really the only place they have to go if it's a big winter.
Yeah. Boulder and there straight down.
Yeah, and they kind of
habitat.
wandered through that whole valley slope area there, but yeah, up there, I mean, even grazing, it's been controversial in the past whether the elk are allowed to graze inside of the cemetery or not, whether that's disrespectful to the remains of the people there and the fencing that's there. So it's just, yeah, that's just kind of the range and yeah, and CPW actually has some really good maps with the winter ranging that they've mapped out. So if that's not something that you guys have, definitely something that we can help get with you guys too.
Oh, that'd be great.
One other question for Joy, did you guys, find, the suitable replacement for the fencing around, TP4? We were asking for those game fences, like you see by Montrose, are those gonna go up pretty soon, do you think?
We're not able to make that change this fall, for the fence that is up. But I think we're just continue to do temporary fencing for where we, may need permanent fencing in the future. And so I know Athena was working on getting that changed going forward. So we'll get an update for you on that, unless Jess, you've got any newer information.
No, you're correct, but it's just that the contractors are so focused on trying to move sludge this year that that's been the primary focus.
I can jump back into the next slide here, that back to future uses. And so again, just looking at the range of ideas that have been shared to date, this is not meant to be conclusive, but starting to knowing what we know about sort of thinking about phasing and the different uses that have been shared to date, and zooming in on TPs 1, 2, and 3. Based on some of the initial conversations and just looking at the TPs and where they're situated, this chart here on slide 12 in your packet starts to look at the different potential reuse options for the flat areas of each TP, and thinking about sort of the areas in between and the sloped areas. And so looking at sort of a range of options for TP 1, from solar to recreation, that is that perimeter trail with winter access. Those things can be compatible and sort of co-located depending on how they're sort of designed. And the other option with either seasonal workforce housing or the county building. Looking at access to this area is going to be a key consideration to how you get up to the tops of the flat area. And then you can see in between TPs 1 and 2, this could be an option for that enhanced game corridor along Boulder Creek, with those revegetation options potentially on the side slopes. And then TP2, again, similar to TP1, looking at solar, recreation, and then this would need improved access, I think, to really look at additional sort of development on top of TP2. And then there is an existing sort of access road along the toe of the slope along TP2, which could be a nice connection between the parking along County Road 2 that people could walk up and connect to the Boulder Creek Trail. This could provide an alternate access point from people that park at the water treatment sort of parking lot and hike in. There's this sort of existing access road that could serve as that trail connection. And then looking at TP3, this one is not as elevated from the road as the other, as Tailing Ponds 1 and 2. And so access may be a little bit easier, even though there's, I think, access sort of potentially through private property that would need to be sorted out, but this could be an option for that either seasonal workforce housing, parking, a county building. So again, this is a first attempt at looking at how you might think about these different uses at the different TPs based on their characteristics. Anything stand out to you that you feel like you want to flag now or add to the discussion?
TP3, we looked at it, the county building kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah.
We're on our little walking tour.
Yeah. No,
Okay, I just thought I'd just say
Yeah.
Road and bridge.
I think these are all the, kind of the current thoughts that we've identified. The hard part for us is at this juncture, you know, thinking about potential future uses that are unknown. You know,
Mhm.
like solar array on TP1 or TP2, you know, like 50 years ago, that wouldn't have been a consideration as a future use. So, you know, for us, you know, in taking these properties, it's really examining the future uses that we don't even know about or have current enough information to think about the development of this. So
Which is perfectly normal. And I think trying to think of this as like a framework so that you can evaluate as new ideas come up, like you have this sort of some of these parameters to work with then that help you evaluate uses. And yeah, things change. So usually I start off with saying like this is all this information is helpful and it's perfectly fine to not know exactly what the future of this is going to be, but any information that we can come up to describe what some of those options might be, it's helpful to hear that now so it can be a consideration for considering cleanup options. You mentioned solar, so I can talk a little bit about that if that's helpful. I can go ahead
yeah,
and
sure.
move.
Sure, we were, you know, somewhat pursuing planning grant funding through San Miguel Power to look at potential solar array stuff,
Mhm.
and that grant funding from the federal level kind of dried up on us. So just a couple
Right.
years too late.
Yeah, or maybe you're a couple years early so you can
Oh,
plan
sure.
for
Maybe.
it in the
Yeah.
future if that's
Yeah,
a priority.
right.
Yeah, and um, then um, and because we have sort of these different timelines, that's what this is showing here, that there may be some interim uses now, whether it's um, trails, habitat, kind of getting your ducks in a row to be prepared for whether it's solar or a different type of use a couple years from now once EPA has a remedy decision. That's what this is attempting to do here, is to look at the different what you maybe think about now versus maybe a couple years from now. Um, so and solar projects sometimes can take a while to kind of get all the pieces in play. So this could be the next couple of years could be time to think about if the situation is ripe. And that's what this is showing here. Is if you look at TPs 1 and 2, you have a combined acreage of about just shy of 14 acres, and we did both sort of a conservative and aggressive capacity, so that what you could generate can range from just shy of 5 to just a little over 8 megawatts. And so in Colorado, a 1 megawatt system can power 193 homes, as a kind of a rule of thumb. So that can um, let you know kind of capacity in terms of if you are thinking about a larger system to really provide a lot of like community power, or if you're looking to co-locate a smaller solar array just to provide power to adjacent users. So there's options there. But the key takeaways is that there's tailing pond 1 and 2 could potentially support a good amount of solar. You have the initial information from San Miguel Power Association, where they were looking at community solar. That could be some helpful background information as you move forward. But there's also some trade-offs. So, we definitely heard the lack of available flat land is a key consideration in terms of thinking about future use. So deciding between solar or other community or economic development uses is a trade-off. And so other community priorities and solar feasibility, those are going to be like kind of two factors that you would think about moving forward. And obviously more discussion about whether a microgrid or just solar feasibility, that's like more conversations to determine if that's a good fit. And through the Superfund redevelopment program, we can help stakeholders sort of kind of go through and think about those next steps. But it could also be premature for right now, depending on where you are. So, does anyone have any questions on anything I just said?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Great. I want to circle back. You all were starting, I think, to have some sort of thinking about the uses and other land uses. This is not in your packet, but just an initial diagram to show how to kind of think about how you might want to think about future uses of the different TPs. Can you all see that okay? I don't know how big your screen is.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is looking at just land use and proximity to help start to think about, it's basically a different way of showing that one slide that I showed, like different land uses by the TP. So if you think about the county road, as as identified in your like comprehensive plan, that this is like your sort of economic corridor, and you have the powerhouse and sort of some commercial development here along County Road 2. So TP3, maybe is starting to, with its access along County Road 2 and the adjacent land uses, maybe that you start to think about this in terms of maybe more of development and access, and whether it's a county building or a trailhead. And then if you start to think about 2P2, as we mentioned, as this sort of trail connector between the parking area, the Boulder Gulch Trail, I'm not sure if it's feasible to access Baker's Park mountain bike trails from this vantage point, but there is this sort of road that accesses TP2. So that could start to be this sort of recreational hub, for example. And then you have TP1, which is sort of divided from Boulder Creek or Gulch, and is close to the Mayflower Mill and has this access up and around. So this is just another way of sort of visualizing what that could look like, and starting to think about the TPs in different ways based on proximity to other land uses and access. Which goes back to what I was saying, is sort of like this framework idea, so you can start to evaluate things as they come up.
We have an easement through the Historical Society properties to get to TP1. I mean, that road goes up and around, but is that an easement access right there, or what is
That's
it?
a good question.
I don't know.
Okay, just a
Really good question. Is that historical or?
It's prescriptive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It probably is.
Prescriptive? Yeah.
Well, what I don't know, I mean, I would guess that when Sunnyside gave the Mayflower to the Historical Society, that they retained the access.
An easement, that's
or
right, that's right.
The road access.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would, depending on what you put up there, I would certainly be consulting. The
Oh, yeah,
Historical Society.
yeah.
If you're gonna do,
Oh, yeah.
ATV trailer storage up there and they're driving through the property, I don't think they're gonna be very happy about
Yeah.
that, but.
Yeah, so just to put this in perspective, I think it's really good to do right now. None of this is happening right now.
Right. It's
We
way down.
may be, yeah, it's way down, maybe after I die. So my point, Scott, is this is the process. We wouldn't do anything before we got to the Historical Society. This is here for you tonight to decide if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Or if there's something needs to be added, and then this is gonna be presented to the whole community.
Yeah, no.
If they wanna add anything.
Right, no,
But-
and you want that,
Yeah.
you want that input.
Well, I also want you to tell the Historical Society at your next meeting that we're just exploring stuff.
Right,
So
that's
we
not
don't-
happening.
No,
Yeah.
otherwise my phone will be blowing up about why haven't I come to them?
I thought you were gonna tell them to tell the historical society we're gonna use their road whether they like it or not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't wanna be that guy.
tell them this, and let me know when you're doing it, so I can.
Yeah, you wanna come to that meeting.
Just the considerations for the mountain bike trail system and trail access. Certainly would be valuable to have a more direct connector to that Boulder Gulch Trail. That green line that's written in as access there is that's the city's use for, or that's their road for securing our municipal water source. So
It also goes through private property, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. And it goes through private property as well. There has been another trail kind of slated to be built above that existing road to kind of alleviate some of the conflict between users or particular vehicles going up there for the water source. It's not a high priority on that list, but yeah, certainly would be valuable to have a trail connector at least down to County Road 2.
Great.
Yeah, and we have to kind of be thinking a little bit ahead, if somebody's using that trail cutoff, wouldn't be that hard to go across Tailings Pond 2 and Tailings Pond 1, come back on the road. We just gotta, if you open that, just be prepared, there could be some people wanting to just do their own thing. So, it's just because that's quite walkable and everything up there, so as far as people spreading out from that one trail.
Yeah, but that was one of the concepts, was to open up both those ponds for a loop trail.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
And summer and winter, a room trail in the winter, and I mean, as again, from when we were up there last weekend, I mean, it's a nice spot up there. It's at least something in the short term before we do something more permanent up there, or maybe we never will do something, but yeah, I think that's something that we should tie into.
We should at least set up some lawn chairs up there.
Well, those are removable in the winter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like we could put a running trail in like across country if we can keep snow up there. We're still wondering if we can do that. We don't know if we can. We don't know if we can get snow to pack down and to stay if somebody wanted to go on the perimeter of 1 and 2.
Our thoughts last year was to kind of monitor what the snow was like up there. Well, there was no snow to try to get an idea of what's going on.
Willie had his snowshoes by his door all winter.
Wasn't much of a winter, was it?
Wasn't much.
Well, I wonder if this is a good segue to, I know we've gone a little over time here, I think, if this is a good segue to talk about sharing sort of the list of ideas and some of the key considerations around TPs 1, 2, and 3 that could inform future use with the broader public. Anthony, is that a good segue to you to describe the public meeting, and then we can open it up for discussion?
Sure. So we were looking at a public meeting where we would have really more of an open house. There's some thoughts I have on the slides that I want to get back with the team. We don't have to go into that right now, on how maybe we have the more detailed slides on an actual poster and show them, and then maybe do bullet points rather than, I think, looking at a slide that detail can well, it's just too much maybe for what I call the general public. I mean, that means a lot of people are going to get excited about, well, what can we do there, and maybe put some stickers and on it. I'd identified 3 things. One is the Andes River portal, the natural resource damages. One was the the virtual presentation and the virtual goggles and stuff with idea for Silver Lake. At the Silver Lake, we're going to pull off that. It's there's too many people that can't be here for December 10th. There's actually a lot of people who can't be here for December 10th, and unfortunately, I decided to pull that. But the Annis River corridor and the nerds presentation and this I thought could be, we're talking about having an open house. It could be a town or Kindle, we're still talking about that. But if it's a Kindle, we'll need to have a microphone and make sure that people can hear what's going on, which is the main problem there. But kind of have you know, probably light hors d'oeuvres and punch or whatever, you know.
Beer.
I'm all, you know what, I heard that Festus was ready to make a donation, but anyway, and just have this and have some posters and just break out kind of and just kind of hang out. So we're talking about maybe ideally the presentations on the slides, maybe 15 and 15 minutes with then breakouts, and so we can just mix and talk. So that was the idea. I don't know if those of you,
What was the date on you?
that's December 10th.
Right.
We're looking at, did I put the time 5 to 6? That way people can finish and go to dinner. You know, we could keep, usually at 5 to 6, lasts till 6:30 with people wandering around, especially if Scott's bringing beer. And so, but that
More
gives
wandering.
people time to go eat dinner. Right when they're getting off work.
And
What are your thoughts?
no, I think that's, I just wanted to say, if you look at your calendar and see that that's the second Wednesday, that's not our commissioners meeting.
Okay,
Because in December, we always meet on the 15th,
right.
the budget, so.
Yeah.
Because I've looked at it twice and wondered how come we're scheduling on the same day.
I was gonna
Really,
say,
it's not.
I hope we're not planning on changing that. I might have ankle surgeries. I have it slated for that day. We'll see if it starts or not, but you guys may be on there.
Well, we
Will
can
not be
always,
mobile if that happens.
so we could always will you in?
Wheel me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, are
Yeah,
you?
more than that.
I'm just from the EPA and SKIO team, does that sound okay? And Jessica, Lisa, are you all
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, we're planning to travel out, EPA and SKIO and be there in person. I know at least myself and Ashlyn and I think Joy might be there as well. And
Great.
Yep.
Okay, you Joy, great. And I think just if we could just circle back on the slides, everybody in this room right now is fairly sophisticated enough, and I don't even want to say sophisticated, I'm not gonna say that about myself, but is knowledgeable enough to understand what this is all going on. The general public that we're hoping to engage with are gonna be not as well versed in this, and so let's just follow up on the slides and kind of the layout and how we do it. That way, there'll be somebody there that are very well versed and can go maybe in a breakout to one of the posters if we can do that, and we can talk about that, and then we can talk about how we might make it basically comprehensive enough for me.
Yeah, appreciate that distinction. We definitely wanted you all to have the detailed information, like more of the technical, because when people ask about the future use, there's a lot of information there, and recognizing the two audiences. So appreciate your help in making sure the next version of this for a public meeting is hitting the right level of detail to be helpful. Great. So it sounds like we'll coordinate with Anthony on prepping for that, and the December 10th is with this shared presentations with the other organizations. It's our next step.
Good.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
awesome.
Great.
All right.
Thanks for your time tonight. Really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
you guys. Good night.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
all
thank you.
works, all works, just one, if all works out, you know, the rest of the world will get snowed out and you'll get to hang out with us for a week.
I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, bring extra clothes.
All
Great.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
All right. Well, that concludes our major appointments for the evening here. Yeah, we have well, maybe our most major appointment is still to come, but it's our preliminary budget discussion. I don't consider that an appointment since it doesn't require anybody else other than
Thank
us
you.
here in this room.
Charlie, thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Stay for the budget discussion.
That's really fun.
I can step and do nothing, listen, I'm like,
I know how much I'm getting, but I'm gonna at least leave and think, well, maybe there's gonna be something great that happens.
Hey, Anthony, I've been thinking.
Yes.
Maybe what we wanna do is, when we have this, on a can, is, set up like they did for the, just over here at the hospital building with a pot of chili and a pot of soup and,
Yeah,
just kind of a sit down and,
like a winter potluck.
Yeah.
Yeah, with stew or something, yeah.
yeah, I think we could do that pretty reasonably.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe get a few more people out.
Yeah, I agree. And it sounds like you're bringing the beer.
Provide beer, you get a lot of people out.
Okay.
Tried enough beer,
Thank you
nobody
all.
will leave.
Let us know. We'll follow up on that.
Okay, good night.
So I will inform Austin and Heath that I have no questions tonight on the budget, because I already went over it with Willie.
Wow,
So
really?
I did,
Nice.
yeah.
Let's say just like.
No, that'll save us, yeah, Willie said that'll save us.
Holy mackerel.
That just worked out this morning.
That's,
I called him to ask him a question and then,
2 hours later.
well, no, it only took us an hour and 45 minutes, so. But it did
that's
take
good,
us-
that's good.
Man, we didn't even talk about the budget and we spent 45 minutes talking, so.
Yes,
Maybe it wasn't quite that long, but. Then Dennis saved us from ourselves. He called Willie about something, so.
Well, that's,
yeah, so
yeah. I have to plead the other way because I've been so busy
well, I'm sure.
jammed up this fall with, in the high country and everything else. I've only had, a few hours to look it over.
Well, you're trying to fit in a whole
But,
bunch in a.
no, I'm glad you did.
No, and that's, I mean, that's okay because,
It's preliminary.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just,
Right, this isn't the last discussion we're having
it's
on it,
not,
so
no.
I just,
In fact, we'll
I'm-
we'll have to have a public hearing, probably the second meeting in November.
Yeah.
And we can put it on the agenda again for the next meeting as well, so.
Okay.
Would you like to
So is
lead
this-
us through the highlights here, cost of living adjustments and things like that?
Yeah, I just to give you some of the highlights, I think basically the numbers look pretty good. I budgeted, the revenue, general fund, well, all fund revenue, assuming that the, ballot issue, passes. If it doesn't, it's really not gonna hurt us a lot.
Affect it that much,
About
yeah.
85,000, so I mean, it's a chunk of money, but it's not anything drastic. I had put in expenditures, of 30,000 and 30 to 40,000, I think, or for clinic and for preschool to basically account for that extra money. So if we don't get it, I think, Becky's got, and even if we do get it, I think Becky's got funding in her grants for the clinic, so that's not a critical.
those are still alive.
And
Good.
we would take money out of the tourism fund for the preschool, or at least a portion. I don't know if we
Good.
be that healthy, but we take out some of it. But if we don't have to tap into it, then that allows us to build that fund up for,
Right,
affordable housing. So that's that. Basically, for employees, I scheduled in a 4% pay increase. Some of the,
Across the board,
yeah, yes
Yeah.
and no. I mean,
Right.
I started that as my base was 4% for the hourly employees on the lower end of the scale. I gave them a little bit more than a 4%. I kind of rounded up to an even, a buck or a buck and a half or $2 or whatever, depending on how that 4%.
okay,
So I kind of gave them all a little bit higher bump, which I think is good. That just brings everybody up a little better. Insurance, I've got it scheduled the way we changed it this year with health plan for employees and families. We were told, I mean, when we talked to our broker, and he said you might want to anticipate about a 9% increase. So I built in a 10% increase. But because we started in April
Right.
this year, the new fees, new rates won't go into effect till April of next year. So hopefully we don't get hit. I mean,
right,
insurance, I mean, it's still, it's just a huge chunk of money.
Well, it is.
That was the question that I had for Willie, just with the Affordable Care Act, cuts that are coming from federal legislation for tax credits and things like that, really just wanted to see if maybe we could get Ryan to give us an update. See if he sees any other changes coming down the pipeline, but maybe that's something better scheduled for when our rates increase in March.
As far as capital improvements, for next year, I've got general maintenance for the courthouse, general maintenance for the hospital building. 10,000 each, just to have that money if we need it, or to keep the buildings up. Now that we've got them both in pretty good shape.
heat, we got heat.
Yeah, we got heat. Sidewalk replacement for
Here,
this year, and there's a couple of pieces broken out here that.
how far are you gonna go up with the sidewalk as far as the historic societies?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
That'd be
and, I threw a number in there, but it's just a placeholder at this point. Lauren's gonna give me at least a ballpark estimate.
okay,
The other thing I put in was a generator. That's something we had talked about last year when we were losing power. It was, we got the generator, but it only, essentially does the sheriff's office.
So generator for here,
We had talked about putting in a new generator that would actually
power the whole.
power the whole building.
Okay.
Again, nothing that has to happen, but put some money in there in case we want to. I did budget for the replacement of the county vehicle. The Explorer, it's
old,
it's
I think so,
old.
how many, what's the mileage on that bad boy?
Actually, it's 120,000, so
It's not horrible.
not horrible. No, it's not bad, and but it's 20 years, 2003, it's 23, it'll be 23 years old.
It's still working though.
It's still working. I think we'd probably keep it for Bevan for backcountry inspections and stuff, because he's the main one that uses it. And again, it's not something that we have to replace. But I think because it's old, if you have a newer vehicle, you're used to having a backup
Screen,
and all these other safety features that you don't have. And I think from a safety standpoint, I think I'd like to have something that's a little newer. Again, we don't have to do it this year, but if not this year, in the next 2 or 3 years for sure, I think we need to replace it, or at least talk about it. And then I've got the sheriff for a vehicle replacement. We've had him for replacement the last couple of years and.
And putting it off.
He just, for whatever reason, he hasn't pulled the trigger. He's bought a couple of used vehicles in that time.
Yeah.
Which has got him by
Yeah,
and
that's
which has
great.
been a whole lot more reasonable, but, I think he's ready to buy one. And so anyway, it's in the budget. It's out of the escrow fund. So if it doesn't, we don't spend it, it just stays in the escrow fund. If we do spend it, it comes out.
I think another thing, Willie, this is on the page before the 5-year capital improvements plan is that.
Which page number?
Page 6, you guys, of 39.
Which, I'm sorry.
The lease purchase agreements, page 6.
So lead purchase, yeah.
Is that we're gonna be paying, in like one more year, throughout 2027, we're gonna be paying. And let's go to 2028, we're gonna be paying several things off, which is really
Yeah.
good. A lot of.
That is good.
Yep.
There's a few of them that, you know, like. The shop building and the preschool, those are not huge amounts of.
Right.
Amounts of
The-
money.
Right.
The shop building,
Right.
the
The
shop,
fire authority building is a big one, you
Yeah,
know.
Big one, yeah.
the shop building, I'll probably go ahead and pay that off before the end of the year.
It's a good idea.
We've got enough money in the escrow fund for that.
And it'll be a savings to the
And
county.
then we'll say he won't be, I mean, it's not a lot of interest, but there's no reason to, you know, and that just cleans that up down there.
Yep.
Yeah,
And the fire truck will be paid off by 2028. Our biggest liability is Amble Mountain. That's really our, and the equipment, of course, but it's just just good management there, Willie, that we're paying all this stuff off.
Yeah, it really is.
yeah.
And Villalon goes till 2049. I don't think I'll still be here
Yeah, I don't think we'll be working.
Don't think a few of us will be.
then.
3 of us, anyway.
In that capital improvements plan, just looking at it, like vehicle replacement for the county. I mean, just want to be conscientious of some of these other expenditures for road and bridge that are basically the same amount, one being the loader. That is slated for replacement in 2029 and the dump truck and the vehicle, their vehicle replacement.
Yeah.
To, you know, like is the vehicle replacement for the county, you know, as good, and then also maybe if we get something else, maybe having like a 4-door pickup truck with a shorter bed. That way, in case County Road and Bridge does have a vehicle that or multiple vehicles that go down, because that happens, that they have a vehicle to use. And a backup, you know.
Yeah, and we got that new half ton for cheap. That's
We
helping
did.
those.
We did.
That's helping them for the meantime, but
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, it's coming up.
But that
Um,
Chevy, I don't know how many miles are on it, but
No,
I think it has almost the same amount of miles, but has much harder miles on it.
All in full, right? Yeah.
Than some of those others, so just
Um,
want to be a little conscientious of
yeah,
of their needs versus
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah. No, for
well,
sure.
yeah,
But
and
you also have to remember, road and bridge is out of the road and bridge fund.
Sure.
Right.
The,
two different
the-
funds.
yeah,
Yeah, which is why I made the point, you know, maybe if we could get like a 4-door pickup truck as our next county.
and it's kind of
Vehicle.
up to, you know. Rusty as to what he's prioritizing. You
Yeah,
know, my last
totally.
conversation to him was the dump truck was a priority. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's why I bumped that up, because I did actually have, a vehicle replacement in 27.
On that issue, I think where we meet tomorrow. Correct?
Yeah,
And we're gonna talk, maybe we're gonna talk a little bit more about that to come back when we do budget again, but some pretty cool, exciting things coming up, maybe that we won't need gravel. And that we can use some of that money, we can shift money around,
correct.
right? Not to bring it up now, but I guess we're
No,
gonna be talking about it.
Instead of earmarking a chunk of money for gravel, escrow, we can take that same amount and put it into equipment escrow or
Yeah.
use it to purchase it.
I'm trouble.
And, you know, also, I mean. It doesn't, you know, because I have a number in here, and again, some of these numbers are just placeholders more than anything. You know, it doesn't mean we can't finance it. You know, we don't have to come up with 100,000 for a
No,
dump truck.
no.
We can finance it for, you know, for 5 years or
The
whatever.
the other thing is, and I think you had a conversation with Daly, and she sharpened her pencil to figure out how we can, you know, it's gonna be tricky, but to get out of this John Deere grader thing and get into a better program.
Yeah,
Because-
we'll look, but,
It's pretty tough.
Rusty got numbers from.
Daly?
Power Motive or Power Equipment.
Yeah, Daly was better, right? Cat was a bit better.
And no, well, he hadn't got the numbers from Cat, but
Oh,
when he thought he could do better than what we were doing with John Deere, and when he got the numbers, it was like.
Okay, so we'll talk about it, 'cause
No.
I thought Daly came up with some better numbers, so.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I said, you know,
We'll see.
we can be.
If we can do better, obviously,
Still
if we can't, we can't, but
Yeah,
that was probably one of the worst deals
oh,
ever.
I think the timing was just,
Well, and that, yeah, I won't go, yeah,
yeah,
no, that was, I
that
just.
was bad news.
Yeah, that was one where we all walked away feeling like.
We needed to
just
take a shower afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much so.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep,
Yeah, especially when the initial contact was, I can give you such a good deal, you'd be able to buy an excavator on top of the
Right.
2 new motor graders, and then it's like, well, we'll only double your payments if you keep your old motor graders. I mean, that was.
No, it was
that was legitimate.
that was the interim, well, like I said, the lawyer would stop me right now, but I won't mention names, but
Yeah,
there was some stuff going on there.
yeah.
Cool.
Any other things, Willie, we need to be looking at?
You know, I think, you know, that kind of hit the high spots, if you guys have any.
I'm gonna play
Questions or.
Scott Fetch for a second and go to the commissioners.
Uh-huh.
Pete Meisel's never spelled right.
It was spelled wrong, M-A.
It's spelled wrong again.
I-S-I-F.
Damn.
Not a big deal at
No,
all.
it is, I mean, that's.
It definitely is wrong
Who
though.
is that guy?
Yeah, who is that? Yeah,
You spell my boss's names.
yeah.
You get no.
It's usually.
I just had to do it because
Usually
Scott does it very well.
It's usually Fetchenauer that gets misspelled. but
Right.
Yeah, I don't even try that one anymore.
Got a Meisel.
He's got autocorrect on mine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's funny because
not even a point.
if I spell yours wrong, it'll
Yeah.
red light.
I'm
Oh,
trying to,
what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it pronounced correctly. It's keep on this shirt.
I'm so sorry.
How many years has that been?
Three.
One?
Actually,
Three?
Three.
Oh,
No,
three.
no, when I was, it
It
was correct when,
It was
yeah,
correct when you
yeah,
were.
anyway.
involved.
not even a.
Yeah,
Actually, it was intentional. I slide these things in every once in a while just to see if.
Okay,
anybody-
paying attention.
If we're paying attention,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking with it.
okay. One real quick question on page 26. And I should have asked when Anthony was here and they were all here. To put on the spot, but mag chloride, have we got any money from the EPA? We did,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. No, that's why
it's budgeted.
That's why it's budget, okay,
Fine.
very good. Answers that question, sorry.
On Road and Bridge, I budgeted in 75,000 for mag chloride.
Okay, good enough,
We got the increase in the cooperative agreement
good.
to cover
Yeah,
most,
that's-
if not all of
That's
that.
job well done.
That puts
That was awesome.
that in, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody at all. And I missed tonight, I thought it was tomorrow night for the farewell to the clinic. Okay, sorry I didn't make that, but you guys did,
The chili and the broccoli.
Yeah,
Super awesome.
yeah, I missed it, and
Yeah, I'm glad
Sorry.
you guys were there. I couldn't quite make it.
But on that note, Becky and Amy, and you understand COVID monies and grants and everything else, what's coming out of there. They have less work,
It's shrinking.
it's shrinking,
The grant. stuff.
but I don't know if those are dried up yet, or we still have those, or,
Basically,
that was a question for you, Willie.
basically their salaries are still being covered by grants.
Oh, they are, this year,
Yeah,
so it's not a point.
We're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
we're good.
Look at that.
Yeah, and
Knocking my questions out of the park.
and actually, we've had other people over there working, most of them were, contract people, so they didn't show up as employees, but it's down pretty much to Amy and Becky.
Okay,
I mean, we still have.
okay, and like I said, I wasn't picking on them, I was just saying,
Other-
clinic being closed, less duties,
Yeah, no, and that's, I mean,
kinda sad, but
yeah, no, it's, if you look on the
this page,
personnel page for, I've got that little, disclaimer in there.
which page is it? What,
Says, wages and, employees are based on, grant funding, so.
what page is that, Willie?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not finding it, towards the back. Page 34.
Okay, 34.
Yeah, I'll take that back, it's not in here. Didn't you?
It's not in there?
No, it's on the sheet, but it must not been in the print area. So
So we could have it on the next one?
I'll make sure that it's on there, yeah.
Okay, so this one, answer, grant still.
Yeah, that's,
For both, so for both Amy and Becky, we're okay on that, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's,
no, and, actually.
Get it, like I said, I
Becky
just-
understand that.
I understood, I just thought I had to ask that.
Okay, I actually have the languages on page 32. Under, emergency manager,
Oh, the hours and rates subject. to
subject
change.
to change depending on pandemic funding,
Okay.
because he was bumped up. Because of COVID at the same time.
Right.
They had the identical language.
So that's a quick question and might be, so subject to, what is Jim's total salary?
So,
Cause we have
so what we've got,
emergency preparedness, is that part of that, or?
yeah, what we've got here is, I lost it here.
Page 32.
Yes, 60,000.
Okay, so what's on the budget here is, 3/4 out of emergency management. And then
Okay.
1/4 out of public health.
Okay, but he's not getting a $20,000 raise, right?
No, it's because I had him, but.
Okay, I always just, you see that number, I just,
Taking a 20,000.
Are you?
Before I give somebody else one.
well, okay, but,
No, it was because I had.
and I'm glad we're recording that.
I had him budgeted 50% emergency services and 50% public health, but the
Okay.
hours, the hours didn't, there wasn't enough grant funding. And for that program that he that he out of, so
Okay,
I adjusted it to more accurately show how we're actually paying him. So he got 4% increase.
okay. Yeah, just when you look at that first number, it's just kind of.
Yeah.
Gotta understand where it's coming from, so.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Going back up to page 30, looking at my health insurance, it says my health insurance is gonna be a little higher than my salary, $48,000 there. Is that right?
Yeah. Family,
With the family?
brother,
Yeah. No,
That's-
I'll go back and.
thank God for our insurance, right?
I'll go back and double check the numbers, but the employees with families are,
Or high? It's that high?
Yeah.
sky high.
That's just a new insurance.
But it's a good thing, I mean,
It is.
the cost
It's
isn't
a good benefit.
but being able to do it is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know at least one employee, that was seriously thinking about being done. Decided that she couldn't walk away from the job with the family insurance.
No,
Okay.
it's a huge benefit.
Okay.
I think it's a great benefit. That's all I had
But at the
for
same
my
time,
questions.
it's also a safety valve. If everything explodes, we go back to where we were at, which is employees, and we've got an instant $100,000. I mean, not that's what we want to do, but
if we had to.
It's there.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's all I got, Austin.
All right.
That's all I got too.
Okie dokie.
All right, nice
Up to
job,
you.
Willie.
No, I'm good for now. I think we'll have
Okay,
more discussion.
And we're gonna have more.
We'll have
More.
more time to go through
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And sorry, I will read it further. I've been just, not trying to make excuses, but I'll get on it.
I guess one other thing.
You know,
You got the time frame about that big.
Oh,
There's a whole bunch of
I guess-
projects.
As we use, I mean, if you look at the numbers here, I'm using, our year-to-date is, bills we paid in September,
Yeah.
right? And then from that, making assumptions, what it's gonna cost at the end of the year, figure out what our year-end cost is, and then figure out what the following year's.
Right.
So the further off we get in the season, once we have October,
It's gonna be even more accurate.
it gets a little more solid.
Okay.
I mean, I know most people start out with August. Year end to do their initial budget. To me, it's a waste of time because
That's only.
you just,
A little
there's
more
just
than
so
half a
many,
year.
questions.
Yeah.
yeah,
So by the time we go into our public hearing in November, we should be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Feel pretty comfortable. The one place, that I'm not too sure of is what utilities for the hospital are gonna cost us. I put in
because
30,000.
it's the first year of it.
Yeah.
And it's electric.
And so, I don't know.
Won't know till you get a couple of years in your.
We do, September's electric bill was $1,000.
Okay,
So.
not horrible.
No, I mean, if you take eight light months.
Yeah.
Or relatively light months at 1,000, and 4 months at 3,000.
Not horrible.
Yeah, no, 30,000 should be
enough.
very sufficient, but until we actually
Until we see it.
get in there and see it.
We don't, it's a variable. We don't know what it's gonna be.
The other thing that just related to that is that we need to make sure we train everybody over there. That when it's hot in your room, don't open the window.
No.
Turn your heater
Well,
off or turn your
and-
heater down, and then if you need to open up the
and-
window. But
That's not even funny because when I was doing coal there, we would catch the upper,
yeah,
there was 2 or 3 of them open.
yeah,
Wow.
And we're like,
no, and it's,
Yeah.
and with the radiators, you didn't have a whole lot of control, you had some.
Right.
But with
With the electric,
with all these
you got
heaters
total
in each
control.
office.
you got a knob.
You got
a knob.
total
Just
control.
turn it off.
Yeah,
Exactly. Don't open it.
because I mean, we can't afford to do is heat up the outside.
No.
Maybe you should put smart thermostats on with the master control so that we can.
Yeah. Or you could do what Outback
Well-
used to do. Lock them out. Remember that? Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, and the other ability too is like if you're. I don't know what kind of thermostats they do have in the room, if they're very
They don't
simple
have
or,
any thermostats, it's just a
it's just
knob on each unit.
on each unit,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But I think it's a good point to, and not picking on anybody at all, but because there's different people using it to task train them just real quick
Cause
with
they're
whether
opening the windows. Cause.
Lauren, with
the-
Lauren or whoever,
Yeah,
Dan,
yeah.
Danny, whoever, just to how you use this,
yeah,
because it is the first year
Yeah.
and
I'm I'm surprised that those don't have some kind of thermostat kind of unit on them.
They didn't, and I talked
It's
to
having
Danny a
some
little
kind of
bit
like
about.
timer on them to be able to, do that
Units.
could save us
Well,
a lot of money by
the way they were actually
be
set
able to
up.
turn it down to 60 overnight, but.
Right.
The way they were actually set up was, they didn't have a knob to try to adjust it. You have a hole in the heater, and you stick a screwdriver into the slot.
Yeah, there you go.
So
That wouldn't be good.
So that was,
So they're designed to be adjusted, and that's
that's
where
where they're at.
So, Lauren and Denny have gone through and shown them all how to.
Oh, yeah, they have already?
Adjust it
Okay.
and stuff, but it's.
Yeah, I could see that being
But
chaotic.
But it's that mental thing, where, man, it's hot in here, let's just open up the window.
We got it,
Yeah, that's not the solution.
and that happened,
Yeah.
it was happening.
So,
I mean, me and Colin would look at us, we're dumping coal in and going, huh?
But I know they're very happy over there right now that with.
And
they've been.
that's
Yeah,
that's an amazing thing,
they're not.
happiness
And,
at the hospital.
How long is that gonna last?
We'll take it though, right, Scott?
Yeah.
and actually, I'll get to you what our total cost was, but I think we came in way under what the engineer estimated. Just
Good.
because it was Lauren and.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Danny.
Under-
Yeah, thank God.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank God for those guys. Alright,
Where it does help in August to start budgeting process is starting to tell everybody to get you their numbers and their requests for the next year.
Yeah.
So I know, I'm sure you've been doing it when people have tried to corral me or corner me. I've said, get it in, so that we have an idea when we come into October, November, where we're at and what we have. So. On that note, when are we meeting with the emergency services folks for their requests?
Good question. Anthony was gonna set up a meeting with them to do do their ranking
Right.
and what their requests are.
Sure.
I think, Clark was gonna try to be here, tonight, to talk about wildfire stuff, but he's having some,
health issues.
he's not having health issues, but apparently his family is, so he's been dealing with that.
Huh.
So he asked if it was okay to, come in at the next meeting, so we'll have him on the agenda for the 12th.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, our emergency service fund looked great. Hopefully we can find some grant funding to move the, the building forward, but that also means we gotta find some funding to move this building forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of happen simultaneously.
Billy said,
Sure. Have they done any of the geotech or anything yet? I mean, be nice to get an update on that.
They just got the contract signed.
We just got
It just happened.
contract.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
what we've been waiting on, is for the contract from Dolan.
Yeah,
Hey, couldn't.
Oh,
do
good.
anything.
Didn't have money to do it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
yeah, you can't spend it before you.
No, it never works that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, the problem is we can't get reimbursed. It's not like we don't have the cash flow, but
Got it.
we can't get reimbursed if we spend it
I
before.
wanna make sure you have
It
it.
was disconcerting when I talked to Will this morning. He said that DOLA's grant funding is kind of drying up. Weren't you saying that? And that's
Really?
that's what funded our fire authority building and the fire truck, right? So as far as trying to find a DOLA grant for this, we don't see that yet.
Ooh.
So
That's
which isn't good.
No, that's not good at all.
So, what about, like rural EMS grants and things like that? There's gotta be some stuff out there.
No,
rural
I think there's some different funding that, through search and rescue, emergency services, emergency management, that I think are still
We just need
still
to,
available. It's just that
we just need to-
DOLA always was a good base, or,
you could always go to them.
and it doesn't mean that there isn't money out there. It's just that instead of 3 funding cycles a year, I think they're down to one now.
with everybody
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
for that
yeah.
same funding cycle.
Um, So it's, yeah, they're tight.
Okay,
They did say 2026, they hope to be expanding back a little bit more again and starting to
okay,
do some, to renew some of their funding sources and things like that.
okay,
Depending on how much the state grades it. That's what's happened in the past is when the state budget goes down,
they rated it.
they find ways to
Yeah,
grade DOLA.
They did it to the State Historic Preservation Fund when, instead of setting money aside for renovation of the state capitol. You know, instead of having that like an escrow item, they just raided the State Historic
Yeah.
Fund and we couldn't get any kind of funding for 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
because it all went to the state capitol.
wow,
That was frustrating.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then just as we're talking about the building over there, the people that have the little red brick house over here that we had talked to us about,
The
you
demo,
know, if we do the demo, they'll, you know,
give us the land.
give us the land. I think we're getting pretty close to making
Oh, wow.
that happen,
Okay.
so.
And our own crew could do the demo.
Yeah, well, that would, I mean, that was.
Because we have an excavator.
That's why we got that excavator.
That's only.
That's better than getting used.
Yeah,
That's
you
a,
know, if
that'd be a,
our crew does
hog
it.
heading job for Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be fun.
So, but they'll be responsible for paying for the dumpsters.
Which is good, because that's the expensive part.
Well, that was kind of one of the hangups is, you sure the county can't split that cost with us?
Yeah, no,
Nope, I'm sure.
no.
Yeah. Move on to
Next.
September financial report here.
Yep,
I didn't have any questions.
I didn't either.
I did not either, yeah. Feels like we just had the August one and then we're
Yeah.
pretty good.
Need a motion to,
Make a motion to accept the September 2025 financial report.
Second it.
On favor?
Aye.
I. So,
Still that ones.
I didn't have anything on that either.
No. Somehow feels like we just did this.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I don't have any questions.
you know, this,
Oh, excuse me.
basically, the town sales tax went down. In September, or in October, we have been the, August sales tax. And not huge, but it did go down a little bit, but you know, I'm, at the same time, I think, and a couple of businesses, I mean, I think you said you.
That even
pretty
with last
steady.
year, July and August were almost identical to last
But
year.
I've had a couple businesses telling me that September was just
By September was better than
through
last year.
the roof, for them. It was.
Mine wasn't through the roof, but it was much better.
Yeah.
I feel like the fall color season was really good this year and it
It
lasted.
was lengthy,
a lot
it
longer.
was
It
lengthy.
did last,
It
it
was-
started earlier.
Yeah.
It was
Lengthy.
unfortunate that the train got
Oh,
shut down for.
we were on a.
Couple days.
We were on a,
That
we were
just,
on a
I mean, it
roll,
just,
and then all of a
everything
sudden
was
it went
going
like
good.
that.
Yeah,
That's too bad, because we were having some good days right
Yeah,
now.
October was just popping. I mean,
yeah,
Town was
Yeah.
busy in
Yeah.
October.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say that August time period might correspond a little bit to some road closures that we had. for a
that
dip.
didn't help.
It-
Yeah,
It
that-
sure didn't
That was
help.
the timing when we had both
Both.
sides of the pass, you know,
Yep.
alternately
Yeah.
closed
Yep.
and,
it was a mess.
yeah, kind of a mess.
Two major construction sites, you know, stuff going on over here, I mean, it's just.
And people are willing to
Well,
brave it
stand
if it's,
together,
if there's
yeah.
fall colors or, you know, a carrot at the end of the rope, but. if
But,
there's-
but also word gets out about it.
Yeah,
The Durango folks, you know?
Was the stops in September and October,
mhm.
the number of cars behind in that
Oh,
period of time was every bit as busy as in the middle of summer. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, it really was.
Yeah, as in.
And once you break that
Yeah.
bottleneck,
huge.
getting behind all of them is just painful,
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's hard, you move in the line, but you don't make the light again, so you sit there twice.
No,
I had
yeah,
to sit there twice, a
Ah,
couple times.
oof.
no. We'll be glad when they're
Uh,
finished with that.
so what else got, Willie?
Next, we're on to correspondence here.
Oh, there, yeah, in your packets, there was an email from Christie.
Fortress workers about the alpineloop.info.
Yeah,
One of the things that we just have to discuss on that, I mean, our county never updated our side of the Alpine info stuff. So if we're not gonna update our portion of the website, then it's kind of moot to have it, and that was on our PIO, and I kind of asked her earlier on in the summer what was going on with that, and she said that it was, it was just kind of a little bit harder. I think it's worth trying for another 3
Yeah.
years and
Yeah.
trying to get it together.
The cost, remember,
the dollar amount is
minimal.
And the dollar,
Right, yeah, it's not big.
But yeah, when you click on, I think when you click on Hinsdale and Uray County, they'd have something. Oh, they did get it linked to our road and bridge site, which is great.
Right.
I was just looking at it. I was just
Okay.
thinking, so yeah, we got that on there. But yeah, earlier in the summer, it was like, well, we gotta have a presence on here if we're gonna keep doing this, so. Yeah,
So,
all right, well, yeah, do you need a motion to
I think
to do
probably
that?
since we're spending money.
Okay.
Even though it's a little amount.
On the-
Looking for a motion to approve an expenditure of $175 a year for the next 3 years for the alpineloop.info shared website with Hinsdale, Uray County, and San Miguel County and San Juan County.
Also move.
so
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we're moving on to CCI Winter Conference. Was in there.
Where's that at?
I'm gonna try to go if I can.
Where is it at?
Oh, I put in the where the conference itself is at. Or I put in the
It's in,
flyer saying that if you're gonna go, the early bird deadline is this Friday.
Yeah,
Okay.
If you wanna get the cheaper rate.
I need to look just
Was
in
it
case.
in
but I
Jefferson
think-
County, is that-
Jefferson.
Jefferson, yeah.
That's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll get with you tomorrow.
that would be great if
I'm
we
gonna
could go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going
I'd like to
either.
go,
I'd like to go.
It's kind of the I went to this regional conference for the CCI Western Slope, and a lot of people I'd seen on Zoom that I'd never met in person.
Right.
That's actually.
Right. No, it's a good thing to go.
It's good to kind of, even though you see faces on Zoom, it's nice to put the face to the name and see us.
I need to get with you on that.
Or, yeah, I mean, you can go right on and just use your credit card and register yourself, or
Okay, all right,
if you have any trouble, I mean, I don't mind doing it.
sure.
And then just, get the same with your lodging, make sure you go to the lodging and get that booked
Okay,
as well, so.
Okay. Got it. I gotta write it down.
I mean, I might even see if I can just stay with one of my friends up there. I'd rather spend a little bit of time with them if I can, but we'll see. Yeah.
What else we got?
All right, that was it for correspondence, wasn't it? Or was there something else in there? Well, we did have Scott's letter. Nice work there, Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, but very good.
I'm getting that in there. And then, I think we're down to public comment and commissioner reports, commissioner and staff reports, Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on any San Juan County related business items? Please do so now. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment and open up for commissioner and staff reports.
All right, let's see. Was the ribbon cutting for the affordable housing after our last meeting, Willie?
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, I did go to that, and that was great. Hats off to Ann Chase.
Yeah.
For really, well, the whole staff over there, but really putting together a good project, so.
Yeah.
And amazingly, they were able to slip those things through the construction side. I'm amazed, so.
Yep.
Yep. Had an ambulance meeting, we're losing another full-time paramedic,
Move
that's why we've got to raise the wages, we just to be able to keep people.
to be semi-competitive.
And even then, we're not that competitive, but
And I should have touched on that there, the budget does show
It reflects that.
yes,
$85,000.
yeah, we gotta raise those.
We can't keep losing them, huh?
Yep. Yeah, and then we'll send people to school to become paramedics, and then they gotta work off those hours, cause we use the grant.
A little bit of a commitment, yeah.
But the minute they're done with those hours of service they have to put in to pay that off, they go apply down to Durango or Uray or wherever, so. Ambulance, we went over budget, and that was the main talk of the budget is increasing. And then the other factor was DOLA not
Having money
for building, so we did, and the other talk with DOLA was. They were waiting for DOLA to get the contract to them, so they can then call the geotech.
Geotech,
Yeah.
just to get rolling here.
Yeah, if we'd got that contract. A couple of months ago, we'd be going on this thing, so that's just a comment. I did go to John Whitney's retirement this last Saturday. That was really nice. It just made you realize what a commitment and how much time John has given to not just region, but statewide. And I guess we're allowed to do a little spiel, and the nice thing about John was accessibility, which gives us accessibility to Senator Bennett, which gives us accessibility to Congress. And even for our small issues in this county, John was very approachable and accessible. So I'm sad to see him leaving. His new replacement, Wyatt, is just the same as John, just right out of Fort Lewis College, very enthusiastic.
Seems to be communicating.
Yeah, I just talked to him today on a couple of issues, and I think he's gonna be a good asset.
Yeah.
Then Hillary, of course, for the Western Slope Director and stuff, I think he's a great asset, so. Then I went to that little thing tonight, just to thank the brokerings, and I did meet, we have another lady, I think. The dental hygienist name is Courtney, I didn't get her last name, but we have a dental hygienist doing like teeth cleaning, x-rays available every third Thursday now at the clinic, which is great. I mean, while I stood there talking to her, a couple of people booked with her, which was great.
Good.
And then.
I'm sorry I missed that tonight.
And this lady, the introduction was so fast, I didn't get her name, but there's a lady available through one of the grant programs on opioids that's here to help people with counseling and addiction problems and things like that, so might be somebody
Here in town?
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember her name, Willie?
I can't.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's your.
Okay, thank you. And she had just an interesting story of how she got into this thing, so.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great if she could.
Right, okay, I think I know her. She bartended at Bendito a little bit.
Yep.
Nice lady.
Yeah.
Very nice lady.
Yeah.
And but she's available for opioid counseling, addiction counseling and stuff like that, so.
Yep. And she's shown up to a lot of public events too with, NA alternatives and things like that to try and,
Yeah,
keep people, social, but social that's over.
yeah,
Where possible, so, yeah.
nice. So you've already met her and got to talk to her then?
Oh, I've known Mariah for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
She grew up with my wife in Michigan, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow, so you're.
So, yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah,
So
nice.
You know much more about her than
Yeah.
I did. That's the first time I think I met her. So.
Yeah, so I've
Yeah.
known her as long as I've known my wife, basically.
I'll be darned.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when I got the invoice from Becky for her wages and travel, I'm asking Becky, how come we're hiring somebody to come up from Durango to work here? And Becky was like, no, she lives here. We send her to meetings in Durango and we reimburse her mileage for that. But because I didn't recognize the name at all.
Right.
And I was like,
Yeah.
why-
I'm glad you know her so well. I guess that I
do
just
that?
had a good conversation with her.
Yeah. And I kind of, that's who I was talking to about our potential sword,
Right.
person to report to the county for us and do that.
That's
'Cause
right.
Cool.
It might be better in terms of the county and the public health sphere to have somebody who's more closely connected to it. Not gonna say anything, but it's nice to have people, because there's a lot of there's there's a lot of people who are, you know, in public roles and positions who don't really understand or aren't. I thought that everybody, you know, had folks that were impacted by substance abuse and things like in their families and in their lives, you know, who'd had it, but when you sit in those meetings, it's clear that that's not the case. So
Sure.
it's
Eye-opening.
nice,
I bet it's eye-opening, yeah.
it's nice to have the people who can relate to the problems and the issues and really
Yes.
understand the problem solving and the creativity that it takes to kind of pull people back from the brink and traditional forms of, you know,
Like traditional rehab,
intervention and things like that are not working.
People keep just showing it back up, which they want because it's big money.
Sure.
The rehab business is big money, and they want it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's just my own personal opinion, but.
Yep. So, yeah.
So no, I like going to events like this because you.
Yeah, I'm really sorry I missed it.
And even the one with
The
John.
Brokies are good friends and
Yeah.
they did a lot.
Yeah, just was able to thank them, you know, for their
Yeah.
service community, and then even just John Whitney's thing, I mean, there were. Former service people, BLM, San Juan Citizens Alliance, or Ty Churchwell. There were lots of people there that Peter Butler, that we've been dealing with for a long time, so it's nice to get to.
Connect with them again.
Visit with those people, network with all those people too.
Yeah.
And Marcia Porter Norton was there, just nice touch base with La Plata County Commissioner, and Lynn Paget was over there too. I didn't get to visit with Lynn, but she was there, so drove all the way over.
Sure.
So, yep, so.
Yeah.
I thought it was productive, that's all I got, you guys,
No,
but it was a busy week.
I had
You got a bunch?
no, not a lot at all. So, little bit, so we're gonna have, I was able to touch base with, Fabio Grasso from Silverton Mountain.
That was my question.
He's gonna be here at the next meeting to talk to us about it. He was able to talk to the owners. They probably are not going to be there for the meeting. They kind of have tasked him with being kind of like the public head of their organization, and that they're running.
Have you figured out
3
that
businesses, and 2 of them are having children, and
oh yeah, have you figured out that Fabio's this and 88 is operations manager or something? Have you figured out that?
yeah,
I was talking to Grady about it, and he says
I just think they have some different responsibilities and roles of what they're doing.
but if we could get those guys here to represent the owners,
Sure, yeah,
we still
yeah.
get stuff done.
So he's gonna come in and give us an update of what they've been up to, and what their kind of program is, and he was gonna schedule a meeting. I already talked to Rusty just to let him know that it was coming, and Fabio had already reached out to him. They're gonna have a meeting and just talk a little bit about, you know, potential parking stuff and things like that. So hopefully they'll have that kind of meeting before they come to us, and they'll probably be here at that same meeting, so that they can kind of, you know, collaborate a little bit on what to move forward with there. Yeah, and I had a good talk with Fabio just about, you know, the collaborative approach to things. So yeah.
No, thanks for
So
awesome.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, I hope hopefully it'll be a good thing to have him here and just hear what they've been up to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, just talking to him, I think they're still in a lot of planning phase of stuff, you know, like they don't have solid plans, like they can't begin work on filing for septic permit systems until they have the plan done for the buildings are gonna be done, and the plans for those buildings, and I think water is and he'll probably address this, but water is something that they're really
the biggest problem,
and trying to get, you know, they can't have septic unless you have water to put in with it. So
you know, and the well water in that area is probably iron colored.
they drilled a test well that didn't go very well for them. So
I would suspect.
yeah. So yeah, so you know,
I got a comment for that, well, you know what it is, but I'm not gonna say
I
it.
had the same
I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, you were thinking the same thing, weren't you? If lawyer Shalani be.
yeah, but yeah, so. And there's that. I'm trying to think of what else I had going on in the last couple of weeks here since our last meeting.
Do you have
Looks like
any,
our last
do you
meeting
have
was
any
just-
opioid meetings, anything like that?
No, that was the same day as our meeting where we did the tour of the tailing spots with Dennis. So didn't make that meeting. And honestly, I think there was a lot of changeover in that meeting of just welcome these people are leaving. There wasn't a whole lot of other business going on. This is
Are you guys,
coming in, it's kind of like coming in, like CCI has been quiet for the last, since our Western District meeting, but in the next, 2 months, especially in December, there's that winter conference meeting and the business and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
you guys not do that meeting anymore? That was between all the commissioners. You guys not do that one anymore?
No, everybody kind of dropped off of it. It kind of ended up being just, Michelle Nearhour, I think is her last name, from the former clerk from Erie County, now commissioner, and San Miguel and me, and
This wouldn't go
it
anywhere.
it just yeah,
If
it's
you're not
getting
getting
complex
any-
with
if you're not
people.
getting
We weren't having enough
nothing's happening,
participation.
there's no
So
point, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a shame because some of the core group, Ben Tisdale and Hillary, kind of
Hillary Cooper.
Cooper left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some of that kind of went away, and people just, I think, got really busy to continue to hang out. But I thought it was a really valuable meeting, and I think this what's the meeting that's happening here soon? Let me look at it. There's a meeting in, I want to say it's in Cortez, but I'll have to see. It's happening, I believe, first week of November. I'll have to look back through that, but there's going to be a kind of a Southwest regional meeting. Unfortunately, like what I really enjoyed about that meeting is we got some of the folks from the north. Like occasionally we get the Montrose folks in there,
Or
but then
Gunnison,
but yeah, Gunnison is kind of left out of that thing. If we focus more on the Region 9 participants, then we don't get to hear from our partners over in Gunnison, and especially during COVID, it was they were just an invaluable resource for us to be able to kind of model what we were doing at the time, because they really had it together and had a lot more resources and department staff than we did, but it was a great resource to be able to hear from their health department director as to what they were doing and how things were going. So yeah, in some ways, the growing pains that some communities go through, we get to kind of learn, because we're being smaller, we see things a little behind the times of what other people have had to go through. So yeah, it is kind of a shame that fell apart. But yeah, I think I literally was when someone asked, do we want to continue to have these meetings? I think I was the only one that said I see the value in these meetings, and I think we should continue to have them. And
everybody else said, it's just silent.
Yeah, just silence from everyone else.
Crickets.
So yeah. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we can revive having those again. We'll talk. It'd have to be different members at this point, for most of the people, because things have just changed too much. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm maybe striking up the conversation with some different electeds and seeing if it's worth continuing to have. Trying to think of what else I had going on here. I feel like I'm missing something major here, but I can't remember what it is. So yeah, I think that's all I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm gonna.
I like Pete's report.
Yeah. Is it colorful sometimes? Is it colorful? Yeah, thank you. Well, this one, again, I'm gonna apologize like I did for the budget. It's, you know, and no excuses, but everybody's jamming their projects in before the snow, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, yeah,
Or
hello,
yesterday.
I'm in the high country and where I shouldn't be, but anyway. Everybody's busy, so
Yeah.
I don't have, but I'm extra busy. So I missed the AAA meeting. And we do have a new director. I talked to her from Soup Fletcher. We do have a new director. Sounds like a good person. Wasn't in on it. I'll be at the next meeting. I'll let you know. But we're moving forward. And that's good because that committee has no business trying to run the operation. And, you know, in my opinion, anyway, they need a director and they need to go forward. And so that's a positive thing,
Sure.
I think. And then I do meet, I think we have lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that should be a decent meeting. And we'll talk about a little bit of road and bridge and stuff, right?
What's going on tomorrow?
Oh, we're gonna meet with the guy that plows Lime Creek,
Oh,
Rusty and Pete and myself.
all right, I was.
Talk about a colorful character.
I-
You know,
panicking. It's like, is there something I?
yeah, I knew I get a smile on that.
Yeah.
And then we'll, you know, and then Pete and Rusty and I'll.
That's
Yeah.
Brian Anderson at school.
Oh, when
Right.
you see Rusty, I know they put a couple cones on South Mineral, there's like a dip in the road that goes like this, I don't know if it's a culvert collapse or what the deal is, but he's got cones there. There's a couple spots that were cones, but then, you know, when you get where the beaver ponds up by on this side of the Clear Lake turnout, they're real close to the road. In one of those spots, the high water came and it ate away part of the road, so it's just like a vertical. If you got your tires on the edge of that shoulder, you would fall into the beaver pond. It's just eroded.
So we'll talk to Rusty about it tomorrow.
Yeah, just tell them, it's just something I noticed, I just had.
Go look at,
I
do
drove
a
up,
patrol up there and look at it.
yeah, I drove up there, this afternoon, and it's like, ooh, that's a nasty little spot.
That rain, he's still catching up with, that's the other thing, go ahead.
Definitely some water, just a little bit where water was coming
Yeah.
across the south.
Have you guys seen by the Mill County Road too?
I haven't.
It's,
On our historical society road or?
yeah, no, well, no, on County Road too,
Oh, where it comes
but
over?
it's as narrow as you can get, there are cones and they're working on, they're cribbing it up.
Oh,
And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
where
with,
that water.
with
where
two
that
excavators.
Where that waterfall
Yeah,
is.
he's working on that, yeah.
Okay.
I actually think they
It's-
finished with that project and they were replacing culvert stuff, but maybe it's not.
They're not done yet, I was just there,
Okay,
yeah.
alright,
but
yeah,
it's on its way to being done,
yeah,
Okay. Oh,
and it needs to be done.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, talk about, if you fall off there,
you're in the drain.
you're in the animus, yeah. So anyway, so they're working hard, the County Road 2, if you've been on it all the way to Eureka now, is they have one little piece left, the final blade, and they gravelled it. It's nice. I mean, people couldn't understand that project. They were up in arms about it, of course, and now when you explain it to them that it's flat, it'll actually take gravel and it'll take mag. Now, when you relate it to the future dust problem, they usually calm down.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they don't.
Huh.
But I mean, bro, I'm pretty proud of Rusty and Broke Bridge. Those guys are, they're getting after it. You know?
They've been definitely
They've been getting after it.
They suggested that we should buy them lunch.
I did just a while ago.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good deal.
They can't ever say we haven't bought them lunch.
Okay, good
So
deal.
I just did it a while ago at the
Good deal.
barbecue.
I was thrilled that the town actually filled in the bottomless pit by the post office. You know, when you come out of the alley, there's just this puddle and it's been filled in.
Well,
That's just
On that note, the collaboration, and not to say anything bad, point fingers at the past, but with John Zarkas has been amazing. He's a breath of fresh air.
Nice.
The collaboration with him and the county, with that fuel tank, with
The
the
dump
trade on
trucks.
equipment, dump trucks, personnel.
Yeah.
I see it just getting better and better. And full-on trades, not exchange of money or invoicing and things like that. Kind of the way it used to be, which is nice. And he's even the same with me in the private sector. We're just working it up.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's a nice thing. I feel like that's cool. Then that's pretty much it. There's something that's coming up, but I'll let Willie announce it later. We might have a work session in the brewery. So no sense getting it. That would be colorful, wouldn't it? If but I won't.
The broker in Shindig, had a constituent, comment very favorably about the balance of our commissioner board. That each one of us has institutional knowledge or forte, like, Papers Park, your knowledge of road and bridge, mine of VPA, and John, they just said felt like our board was doing a good job and it was a good balance. So it was nice to get a compliment.
Always great to get positive, right?
It is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It is a balanced board,
Yeah.
functioning board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
No,
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of things. One is, to remind you, we have a joint county meeting on November 3rd.
Okay, what day is that? Really? Is that like a Monday or
I think
Tuesday?
it's,
I don't
it's
remember.
Monday, but I'm.
Okay.
Let me look.
I think it is Monday, because we wanted to make sure we didn't do it when
It-
they had a
It
meeting.
is Monday.
Okay, but it's not their meeting,
I
it's
got
not
that.
it's not their meeting Monday. We wanted their full attention, so.
Right.
We don't want to get cut off for
No.
balloons and tea and things and.
Yeah, day before election day.
Oh, the lawyer have any day with me tonight.
And November 6th, that's the Southwest Regional Council meeting that I was talking about.
And November
earlier, now that
sixth,
I'm looking at my
November
calendar.
6th is that going away, party for Gloria also.
Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, so.
That's in,
That was in.
that was in our packet.
Okay,
we'll likely have to be at that meeting. I think that meeting, they're trying to get everybody in person, and I think it's in.
November 6th?
Yeah, they're trying to get, well, they're trying to get people, I think. I'll look into it, if multiple of us are allowed to go, I'll do it, but the conversation, I think, was that they wanted just one commissioner so that they wouldn't have to publicly notice the meeting.
Makes sense.
So I'll at least forward on the information so you guys know what I'm going to and what I'm getting into.
Okay.
So you can give me any notes to take too.
The other thing I've got, and then Pete touched on it, briefly, and you could have run with it if you wanted.
That's not my job.
Kenny Troff would be available, to come over, on our next meeting, the 12th. And, we could do a workshop on county roads. A little bit, talk about some of the issues that have been.
RS.
That'd be great.
2477 or those kind of issues.
Mhm.
Oh,
The ones that
yeah.
came up 20 years ago.
That brings up a point. I almost forgot to do it. Let me show you these pictures. All right, let's see, I'm gonna go to this other one first, let's see. Well, they're putting, this is the road, right above cement fill, there's a road that kind of takes off behind, but these things are popping up, and it's like, are these Forest Service signs or San Miguel? That road, when you go past South Mineral Creek turnoff,
Okay.
there's a road that goes to the right, like within a quarter mile.
Where's this at? Is this up 110?
No, this is up 550. It's like if you went up that little road, you could ski back and you could go up on cement fill.
Cement fill.
It's above that, but like 2 or 3
Right.
blocks above that, above cement fill. They just put that gate there, and then that little road that's across from Johnson's Park. You know where Johnson's Park is?
Yeah.
There's a little road that goes back. You can only go in about 100 feet on the one coming towards Silverton. There's another one of these gates.
So they've
Then-
closed all that camping in there?
All that, and I like to go there for firewood in both places.
That's gonna be Forest
And
Service, right?
then they also put one of those in front of the San Miguel substation. Why don't we have any say on that? Now, you can't there's a couple there's 2 or 3 camping sites. You know, below the substation there, along through there, and then.
I know that answer.
There's that little road that takes off just before you get to the substation, it just dead ends, but again, it's another good firewood cutting spot. Who's doing
That's
that?
Forest Service on the, it's actually Tri-State and Burles Bridge is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
there's
There's a gate there now.
There is, why?
Okay, that's Forest Service. That's a question for Nick Liddon. Because people were camping in the winter and, I mean, in summer, it was
No, I've
easy, I thought.
seen people camping there in several areas there.
Right.
And
That's a Forest Service
that
deal.
other road down, you know, the one just around the corner from Johnson's Park, multiple campsites.
Right, so I don't know about
Did they
that.
close off the one going downhill too? Into the, we call that
No.
Upper Johnson and Lower Johnson.
That one,
Right,
that one
right.
is not closed, that one is open still, but right across from it, you go in about 100 feet and it's closed. They did, at least maybe it was their plan all in all, but I did bring it up. That area where they're putting the logs both up on Molas and you know, off of that little road, they just trashed those meadows. I mean, they're literally you can't drive heavy equipment in a meadow without, and it's wet. But they totally reclaimed it, reseeded it, did a really nice job, fenced it off.
When they did all that.
But they put gates where I've never seen.
So
gates.
those are Forest Service gates, and I think we should get a hold of Nick Liddon on that.
Yeah, because it cuts off.
They're brand new.
It cuts off a lot of camping access and firewood
In
access.
fact, Bruce called me and said, because I used to plow Burles Bridge, he says, do you know anything about this? Because there's a camper stuck on the other side, and they put the gate up, and they,
Okay,
oh yeah,
When did they do that?
within, say-
month.
I'd say a month.
And Bruce said, you know anything about this? This guy's mad as hell. And I went, I said, actually, the Forest Service police or the enforcement put several notes on the camper, and the guy didn't cooperate, but I mean, that gate's new,
Yeah.
and the gate's there
Here's the
like
gate,
permanently.
here's the gate opposite of Johnson's Park,
Yeah, those are new.
they're all brand new. Yeah.
So I would say that would be, you get a hold of Nick, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like there by Cementville, there kind of was a gate originally to prevent people from
Yeah,
going and
these are
driving
new,
up
though.
underneath the power line.
Mhm.
Like there initially, or at least there was one, I feel like
I
somebody ripped it off years ago and it just stayed there.
I've driven
And that
that
was
road before though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it was like. That there
We could
was
ask
an
him.
old gate or something had changed there, cause when you ride the Rainbow Trail, you kind of go right through. That area in that meadow, there at the bottom of Cementville, and then usually on the other side of
Yeah.
it, there'd be a gate there. And then I feel like it disappeared, or got ripped open.
Did San
But
Miguel,
that one kind of made sense because you know, people were driving up into there and there's that old road cut that goes all the way up in Cementville,
Right,
and I think they
right.
really didn't want people going and.
Yeah.
is there a connection? On the road, I've never found that connection. I've taken that little road, but then all of a sudden there's the zigzags, but
Oh, there's a road that goes all the way up to tree line, basically.
I've never been on it.
Yeah,
After all these years, that's
it goes up on the like, if you're looking up at Cementville, it'd be like the looker's right side. And there's a road that kind of goes.
Is that called the Zulu or something?
Zuni.
Zuni?
Cause the
Zuni's
Zuni
around-
goats is
Zuni's
around
around
the
the
corner.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
different.
it's
trail.
Cementville and then Zuni on the other side.
I'm trying to remember what that's.
Yeah,
called.
I can understand not trying to.
You
Like,
don't want
cars go
people going
up
up that road, no.
that way,
Right.
that
I
way.
just
mean,
did-
it's like really overgrown with trees.
I just didn't know the upper road was.
I've done a little bit of chainsaw work, just keeping the down trees on that trail open for.
skiing and stuff like that.
But yeah.
But that is, I would like.
That's
to
a
talk
Forest
to
Service
Forest Service, why
question.
did they even, do we consider?
Never even announced
the
it.
county roads?
No.
We don't, that's a Forest Service road.
Those have never been.
Okay.
Considered.
But
No,
it just bothered me that,
There was no announcement.
just
No,
losing
no,
access to public land without notification.
yep,
So.
That's what it is.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Nick will probably be coming to a.
Meeting.
Here in the near future.
Yeah,
He was here, he scheduled a meeting with Bruce, Conrad for South Mineral.
Hmm.
And had 2 law enforcement people plus a new Forest Service supervisor, I think is position. And he got a hold, at the last minute, he got a hold of me and Rusty, and we went.
Oh, I heard, yeah.
And it was a great meeting. We started at the entrance to South Mineral and
Oh,
stopped at the
yeah,
different
you said you
campgrounds.
talked about Ice Lake and all that too.
And permitting and all this other stuff. And so whatever problem Bruce had with the gates, obviously, he didn't have any more problems with them because he never raised that issue, so.
Oh, okay.
But I think I think it would be good to
Yeah,
raise them.
I'd say at least, yeah.
Anytime access is cut off to places you wanna go, this bothers me without notice.
I will say there was like, I thought it got cleaned up, but there was quite a bit of trash in that like Upper Johnson area. That people had like taken old, like TVs and stuff and been like.
Oh,
No,
really?
that's really clean, that area is really clean, at least.
It was like way up by like the Rainbow Trailer, and some of it was a little scary, and I think the bikers cleaned a lot of it up. So that, because I mean, it was like backdrop was the biking trail.
Oh, really?
So like the shooting hazard there.
Oh,
was,
no
like,
way.
I never saw anybody actually like physically shooting on the trail, but I think there was a little bit of like trash back there, and I'm pretty sure that the single track cleaned it up as one of their highway cleanups, because they had like that stretch of road.
Did you guys have much work to do, as far as, San Miguel's clear cutting right
Yeah.
on top of the Rainbow Trail?
No, actually, there were a couple new trees that had fallen on the trail over the winter.
But they cleaned it, they
They
cleaned
cleaned-
stuff off the trail.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did a good
A
job.
good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause when I first saw it, it was kind of trash in some areas.
I mean, I will say, like, you go through it, and I mean, you just come up to these sections. It was surprisingly less than when people had said how bad it was. There's only like 2 or 3 viewpoints that are just.
But the shock of all of a sudden getting on the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A couple of my favorite little aspen groves,
Going up over-
they're gone.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah, yep.
And then the other, had a meeting this morning with, Bev and, the Historical Society, and, she actually got a grant, for the, 100 or 150, 250, celebration. And so, she's actually she'll be able to pick up about half the cost of the video that, we're gonna do, and, some other stuff. And, so she's kind of taking the lead on this, which is great. We had a good meeting this morning talking about things. One of the things that we want to do is, several years ago, we talked about getting pictures framed like the courthouse, this picture up here, and doing them in the hallway, so historic pictures, and, just for people to come through. And so,
Didn't we
she's
used to
got-
have some out there? Didn't we used to have some out there?
no,
Oh.
we had planned on doing it, and then I don't know if that's when, if our budget got tight or COVID hit or whatever, and I just kind of stopped, but anyway, we're
That'd be
gonna,
a good use.
we're gonna do that as part of this project. Use some of their funds, probably use some of our funds, but set it up nice.
Yeah,
And, and she's really encouraging, Fourth of July to kind of be the big celebration. Get commissioners on a float, and,
we play,
Russ-
we play in the brass band.
well, we might have the band we'll get Rusty to pull a trailer, the new trailer.
You guys can all
The
dress
band
as
is a
beavers and
commissioner.
play as beavers someday.
Yeah.
This
Be a
beaver.
band night, yeah. Yeah, Rusty was really excited about the idea of having the San Juan County float have a beaver mascot.
are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding.
One of them might have a marmot, I mean.
But anyway,
You got me on that one.
Yeah, he's messing with it. He's messing with
we'll
it.
get some.
I'm messing with Rusty about it.
Yeah, that's good.
And, do this upright, just to kind of show you what we've come up with. Or I shouldn't say we, I should say Gina.
Gina.
God bless her. She's great.
So kind of, we've got this logo on the bottom, with the courthouse. And I think it's really nice.
Yeah, the goggles are awesome.
The goggles is cool.
Yeah,
they are.
Because
That is awesome.
it's showing history on the Gold King tram, but you got a pair of new goggles, which I think is a really cool.
Well, and so, and then if you look at flip over the back page, what I had her do was
That's awesome.
do the, kind of show that transformation from,
Yeah,
mining to recreation.
yeah.
And
That
so,
is a really cool idea.
yeah,
Good for
we,
her.
we might make some hats and some t-shirts.
I
and
think it's
stuff and put
cool.
some of that
I think it's very cool.
This is a cool
So,
idea.
yeah, she did a great
Yeah,
job.
I like just this one with the ski goggles and the
The,
miners on it, cause that.
I like this one the best, number one.
this
Number
one's
one.
the best. This
Yeah,
one,
I
this one's
agree.
a little busy. This
And-
one's too busy, but this one's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I like, yeah, man, that looked good.
that's cool.
so,
Yeah, I like the
Nice.
black and white one.
Very cool.
Ski
Yeah.
goggles.
Tell her-
Yeah, oh.
Tell her to take the
It is,
letters
yeah.
and turn them upright.
she said this morning that's what she
Yeah,
was gonna do.
turn them upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, we don't like-
Could be either way, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you
No,
can't, you don't wanna,
It's
Yeah.
exactly what, that was the first thing he said this morning when we were looking at you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn those letters up, right side up.
Nice.
Been doing-
good job though.
I've been,
Yeah.
Yeah.
been
No,
doing t-shirts too long not to notice that.
Yeah.
Gotta get it right.
she's.
I'm sure you've ended up with boxes the other way. I've been like, what?
Oh,
I'm like, here it is now.
or narrow gauge, goo age instead of gauge,
No,
just things
yeah.
like that. And elevation, it's always, instead of 9318, it's 9813. That just happened this year.
That irritates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't, yeah,
So anyway, we're gonna,
this was a cool.
That's good, that's great.
This is a
Like,
cool artwork.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
so, yeah, I think we're gonna try to get some posters up, with, some of the, the tram and the skiers.
Yeah,
In some of the, get them up this winter and in the businesses and stuff, and then
great.
we'll have some, big banners and, over the street banners and stuff and.
cool.
uh, Yeah, just have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Rumor of a burger fry or something like that?
That's what we talked about, is doing some sort of.
Maybe not on the 4th.
I was gonna say, you cannot compete with the
No.
fire
No,
department.
we would do that,
Different
in
time.
the fall, to have a kind of a community.
Yeah.
Potluck stuff and.
Yeah.
Maybe do, cause, David Dibble is doing the, doing the film for us, for the, County 150, like
Yeah,
they did for the town. But he's also doing one for the brass band for their 50th,
No,
so.
Oh, cool.
We'll have a couple of.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's
couple of
history.
videos.
That's a lot of history.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of history.
the one other, oh, sorry, are you good?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, I was wondering what we should do this year, or talking about, Christmas party stuff again, like, remember years ago, we did one where we had like the county and the town did something in the courthouse. Or in the courtroom, where we did like a potluck with town and county stuff, or,
We did joint potluck with the town over in Kendall Mountain. We did county employee stuff upstairs when Melissa was catering. She catered it.
Oh,
okay.
Otherwise, we
Yeah.
do something
Or-
like Kendall
but
or wherever.
What we've been doing, because we don't have a caterer, is usually we get Kendall Mountain if they're open, if not, I think. Did we do this last year? We find somebody that
yeah,
will
have us,
have, it was Lacey Rose.
okay,
We set up and
Yeah.
had lunch there.
yeah,
But yeah, we,
yeah.
I mean, we always
I
do
think
that,
I
but
think it might be a good idea to do like a county town potluck, just so we get everybody together.
yeah, no,
I think it's a real good idea.
All the town and the county employees, and do that, and then we can do our own
Yeah.
county lunch or something like that, but to have that kind of. That camaraderie, I think, between the town and the county would be
Yeah,
good
no,
for us to
I
get back into it.
I think that's a great idea.
Instead of the us and them.
Yeah, yeah, well, and.
No,
you know,
we
if
don't want that. We don't want that.
And if we have all of our employees too, then that helps, like the road and bridge guys and the county.
Yeah,
county public
and
works
like I
guys
said,
be
things
together.
are happening better there, and
Yeah,
having that is a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
so, and.
Very good
I can
idea.
talk to
Okay.
Dana if we wanna see if we wanna
You
do
know,
it.
I was gonna say, at the joint meeting, I mean, it's gonna be budget focused,
Perfect,
but.
yeah,
Bring
yeah,
it
let's
up, bring
talk
it up.
about,
But we can just throw that out to them at the end.
Yeah.
and
That's a
say,
good idea.
yeah, I think we should do
no,
something like that,
I like that.
yeah.
Let's keep it, you know,
I mean,
keep
the
it together.
community events there, but you know, there's a lot of folks who don't like to go to that. If they work for the town and the county, because they don't want to get harassed about their jobs. So, yeah, so I think it'd be good for something, just to have something kind of, you know, joint with them, do something nice, so,
Sounds good.
yeah. Cool. Any other,
I have something for you after the meeting.
all right,
I
go ahead and
know it is Sunday.
adjourn this meeting at 9:19.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. That's taken care of.
You know what?